はい、こんばんは。の天気系男性 Vtuber ヤトのHakuyaです。Good evening. It is I, Yato no Hakuya. And we're going to rush to finish this event before it ends in how many hours? We have 2 hours and 50 minutes. We have to hurry before the event ends. Hello, the Leiku. Hello, hello, hello. Let's read at lightning speed because we do not have time. Alright, chapter 2, let's go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. AS looks into the distance at the ruined watchtower known as Object Tower B2. Alcyone is no longer in sight. We must hurry. Yes, we must. It's part ways here. According to our previous arrangement, AS will travel with Hakuya while I will go alone. Comms are still impossible inside the Tartarus sector, so take the utmost caution when moving. Send up a signal arrow if anything happens. Fortunately, the activation of a halo can be seen from anywhere in the middle ring. Even without comms, we can monitor each other's status by keeping an eye on the watchtowers. That does sound like something you'd say. Let's see which of us can activate their tower first then. AS, do you have any further questions? I am... As far as we only need to have the halos of 3 watchtowers active at once to activate the ring-wide halo, right? Indeed, so it is written in the Revelations. We've also seen the potency of the halos before this, have we not? Once we activate the halos, all the entropics will be suppressed, and we will be able to destroy Malkiro. Shouldn't you have brought more high-order sanctifiers then? Yes, all the sacrifices we made up to that point will have been worthwhile. AS Force's words seem to contain some kind of soothing magic. AS nods and looks away. Relax, you'd think we'd just lost for battle from the look on your face. I mean, we did lose a couple people. Pardon me, I ought to readjust my emotional modules. You're giving yourself too much pressure. Go clear the redundant data in your system. Much as I'd like to give you a chance to relax, we sadly do not have time for that right now. Even now, the entropic forces are returning from the front lines to reinforce this place. Hesperus leads our frontline units, but even he cannot divert the attention of all the creatures in the Tartarus sector forever. I understand. Time is precious, and we can't let this slow our future movements. Hakuya, make sure you take care of AS. AS Forrest turns to me and solemnly pats me on the shoulder. Alright, let's get a move on. Are you okay? Hakuya, Did AS Forrest tell you why we sanctifiers were weakened? Perhaps AS Forrest didn't believe it himself. He simply told me his guess. Given the guess led toward a blasphemous conclusion, nobody could have spoken it out loud. I understand. Tartarus's weakening of the sanctifiers was far too absurd, both in terms of its trigger and execution. That absurdity was the most terrifying thing about it. Simply could not calm my uneasiness. I told you before that I know AS Forrest very well, and I felt uneasy about something that he would too. And in truth, I could guess what you were talking about. Your conversation with AS Forrest involved the gods, right? Indeed. The truth is, I'm a little worried about AS Forrest. This mission is an all-or-nothing bet. We had no choice given the deadline set by the gods. When AS Forrest is unsettled, he turns to his faith for spiritual support, and to his voice of reason for solace. But if either of them should lose their effect... AS lowers her head, her sleeves fluttering in the wind as her sanctifier's badge glitters. After a moment of silence, she looks back towards me. AS Forrest is so strong that nobody in the reverse tower can imagine him being miserable or fragile. But I know what that looks like, and so do you. If anything really happens, then I'll be counting on you to do what's best for him. Hey there, Dunk. It is indeed Gacha Tuesday. It is Tartarus Tuesday, that's what it is. How are you? After whispering those words, AS looks back up and smiles at me while taking my hand, as though nothing had happened. Oh, we're holding hands. Let's go take the tower down. As Forrest slowly walks towards the watchtower, holding the relic in his right hand, His fierce, sharp operants easily disintegrate any entropics that cross his path. Welcome, AS. The girl at the entrance is cut to pieces before she can finish speaking. AS4 steps over Ptolemy Chunks and Ptolemy Chunks, ew. And enters the watchtower, where he is greeted by another curtsying girl. It seems your understanding of the relic has further improved. I believe you'll have fully mastered this weapon before long, no? I wonder what will happen when you fully unleash the sword's power. What's this? Does it discomfort the entropics that I am learning more about the relic? You sanctifiers are always so hostile. Why can't you just use something like that as conversation starter? As you know, the ball has begun. The ball has started rolling. But before the host... Oh, no, not the rolling. It's the ball as in like the dance ball. And the band begins officially playing. There will be a short time for the guests to mingle and speak. Hey, hey there, sis. Cutting it. Yeah, I have 2 hours and 40 minutes, so I'm gonna run through this real quick. Ptolemy seems to consider Eusphorus a familiar, trusted companion. She turns aside and gestures for him to continue onward. Part of this tower's lower level has collapsed for various reasons. Not me. If you wish to head to the roof, you may proceed this way. Eusphorus' sword hand trembles, but in the end he chooses not to strike. He takes a deep breath before blinking, then smiles. Please lead the way, then. Ptolemy looks up at Eusphorus. For the first time, she seems surprised. It would be my pleasure. Please come this way, then. You can take a left turn here to return to the stairs and continue on the proper way to the watchtower's roof. Is the halo system in the center of the roof? Of course, the collapse did not affect the structure of the upper levels. Sounds like good news. Are you curious about my sudden change in attitude? I'm merely ashamed that I do not know my partner as well as I ought to. I can help you understand. All you need to know is this. The Sanctifiers will wipe out all entropics. That is our purpose, and the will of the gods. I'm willing to see what tricks you have prepared to shake my faith. If these tricks end up helping me accomplish my mission more quickly, so much the better. Ptolemy chuckles, and her laughter echoes throughout the interior of the quiet watchtower. When I first met you, I found your conduct and that of your companion boring. You were nothing like the information I had obtained about you. Now, however, you seem as interesting as the persona I imagined for you in the past. You've researched me. The Battle of Warzone Psalm. The Cyber Psalm? The aerial battle at... I'm not reading that. The ambush of Warzone Boulder. We've clashed many times before, just in different ways from right now. So you were the entropic behind those incidents. But you've made one mistake. I was not the one who crushed the entropic ambush at Warzone Boulder. Ah, was it Hakuya? No wonder. Our setbacks during the ambush back then dealt a fatal blow to our overall deployment. Both the execution and timing were most exquisite. It left a deep impression on me. If the reverse tower had more sanctifiers like you and Hakuya, the entropics would be having a harder time. I really wonder, who exactly am I playing as? Which sanctifier is Hakuya supposed to be? Because we're taking on their role, but they're actually someone else. Who are they? You flatter me. Which is why I'm curious. About what? I'm curious as to why, despite being taken by surprise and weakened, you would still choose to continue deeper into the Tartarus sector. If you wish to persuade us to withdraw, you can save your effort. We have the relic and there's the halo system in the middle ring. The first is an unrivaled weapon, the second has been successfully activated to suppress the hordes of entropics. And when fully activated, it can even reach the inner ring. Why should we not carry on? This forest comes to a halt. He and Ptolemy have reached the center of the watchtower's roof, and the core control terminal stands before the two of them. Do you need me to clear the way away the surface corruption? I can do it myself. Ptolemy shrugs and stands aside. She continues asking Eusphorus questions as she leans against a nearby wall. Indeed, the relic is the most devastating to your entropics. The Halo system is even more troublesome. However, you could not guarantee their possession before you set out. Why were you so confident that you could obtain them? Or are you saying that you are carrying on to take revenge for your friends? If I'm not wrong, that Sanctifier's name was... Before she can finish speaking, Ptolemy's body is promptly cut to pieces. Isphorus puts away the relic without looking back and continues working on the core terminal. I do not recall giving you permission to speak his name. A brand new Ptolemy steps out of the shadows. She picks a high place up and sits down there, resting her chin in her hands as she watches Isphorus work. Even the time constraints of this operation came from the revelations of your gods, right? I'm bored now. I thought I'd be able to see another side of you, Sanctifiers, but you're still the same. Your devotion to the gods verges on the mindless. Ptolemy narrows her eyes, and the way her lines of code race to her eyes is as though she's receiving a divine revelation of her own. If just obtaining the Rubik's map has such ruinous effects on the Sanctifiers, then do you not think activating the Halo system will have ill effects of its own? Isphorus' hands pause briefly over the control panel, but he soon returns to normal. Then we will simply overcome the penance we have been assigned. Oh, even if the ones punishing you are the very gods you revere. Isphorus straightens up and looks at Ptolemy, then hits the activation key. We Sanctifiers are the defenders of Magracy. Protecting the cloud server is our calling. That's a good answer, certainly better than something along the lines of, my faith is beyond question. Uh-oh. Isphorus turns to the source of the voice. His system's primed and ready for battle. The fact that the Entropic man should come so close without him even detecting her makes his heart sink. I told you earlier, the ball has already begun. But before the host speaks and the band officially begins playing, there will be a short time for the guests to mingle and speak. The two of us have spoken at great length and leisure time is over. The following time will naturally be yielded to my noble master. Ptolemy leaps down from where she is sitting and curtsies and steps aside. Oh no, it's the Antichrist! A figure slowly emerges from the shadows, seated upon a throne of interlocking, writhing tentacles. I've come to see you, Isphorus. Your operand levels. Are you a clone? It seems you aren't being very sincere about this meeting. I would like to meet you in person, of course, but unfortunately, a caged bird cannot unlock its own prison. Relax, I had no intention of hiding myself. However, your limited warning systems were no longer able to detect me. Still, that is all right. I forgive you for being cautious. This is only your first time meeting me after all. More importantly, I'm very interested in you, Isphorus. Judging by your tone, you've seen me before. Of course, I've been looking forward to this day. To the day you could reach this place. To the day you could stand before me. Be at ease. I will reach you like you want, and then I will destroy you. How cold. I thought everything Ptolemy did was enough to show you the kindness of the Entropics. Why are you still so harsh and aloof? Could you not treat me the way you did to her just now? Malkira puts on a show of being hurt. Even the tentacles below her droop sadly on the ground. However, this does not shake Isphorus. His thorny aura of hostility does not fade. I have no interest in your disingenuous display. Our relationship is simple. We are nothing more than pesticide and pest, not audience and actor. If you Entropics truly had kind intentions for the Sanctifiers, if you sought some means of peaceful resolution, or other more absurd and ridiculous considerations, then why not come clean at first encounter? Because not every Sanctifier deserves the kindness of the Entropics. Oh. Hello, Anjay. How are you? Hello. And here, I thought I had already used up my one chance. You can have as many chances as you want. The same applies to Hesperus, who is brawling with my children on the front lines. The world of the Entropics is much more direct than that of the Sanctifiers. An individual with potential will receive more chances than those who do not. Malkira's tone shifts from being hurt to delight in an instant. She peers outside the window, looking at the other two watchtowers from the glass. There is a hint of mockery in her tone. Also, I wish to emphasize this. Ever since the Sanctifier set foot in Tartarus, you are no longer the arbiter of the nature of our relationship. If I want to see how this all plays out, then the Sanctifiers will have to play their roles. You have clones in the other two watchtowers? Now, why would you think that? It seems you still don't understand the lengths to which I've gone. There's a price to be paid for meeting you in the middle ring. My sincerity does not come cheap. Still, that too is fine. Expectations are merely expectations, nothing more. I'm curious as to how far you can go. Malkira's face goes blank again. She yawns lazily and sits down by a corner, hugging her legs. Below her, the drooping tentacles suddenly go erect and bristle with sharp points. Come then, Yosforus. Let me see if you can surprise me after obtaining the relic. After leaving the ruins of Object Tower B2, Eos and I head into the depths of the labyrinth. Along the way, massive walls clash and intersect, while entropics loom in and out of view. The natives of Tartarus sector stubbornly protest our presence in their own way. After turning the corner, another group of monstrous bodies breaks apart, crumble, and disintegrate before my eyes. What's wrong, Hakuya? You look like you want to say something. It's nothing. I just want to note your strength and that of your Sforus on a completely different level from other greater sanctifiers. I downloaded some combat support modules from my database to help ease some of the stress on you, but I guess it wasn't necessary. Well, this Sforus is one of the Sanctifier's leaders after all, and my existence was for his sake. Don't worry about it. Your specialty isn't combat. Your strengths lie in analysis and leadership, do they not? I'll consider that praise. With a sigh, I return the short sword that I haven't even fully drawn back to its sheath, and once again bring up the Rubik's map to confirm our path forward. Seeing you this crestfallen is something new. That's kind of cute, and different from my usual impression of you. You've already done very well. Also, keeping the elite Entropics from catching up with us is more than a little useful. Honestly, with Electra badly wounded and Alcyon out of it, if you hadn't helped buy them time, I dare not imagine what would have happened to them. Aya shakes her head, as though she doesn't want to keep discussing the topic further, and shifts her gaze towards the Rubik's map in my hands. It's because we're all different that we need each other. We're like interlocking pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. Diversity is our strength, so why be frustrated by it? All you need to do is what you're good at doing. How you point out the way forward and remind everyone to avoid traps is also quite charming. Even if you say that. Just as my voice trails off, another pack of Entropics comes into view. Eos obliterates them with a wave of her hand before they can even announce themselves with their cries. However, just then, I sense something out of place in the Rubik's map. Hold on, Eos. Are you still upset? In that case, why don't I leave you a few for warm-up during our next encounter? There's no need for that. Let's talk about what I'm good at doing. Have you noticed something strange about the frequency and timing of entropic attacks on us? Every time the walls move, whenever we reach a junction, or whenever tracks activate, we get ambushed by entropics. Isn't that normal? Problem is, they're being too precise. Their attack patterns are far too similar. It's almost as though they were ambushing us just because. I share the real-time optical data map that I'm using with Eos, and highlight several items. Do you see? Once the rate of change and trend reach these thresholds, a pack of entropics shows up in front of us, as though it were planned. AS rubbed her chin thoughtfully. I wonder if I should get a second neurocloud system installed. I'm just kidding. Your system interface is way too complicated. I'm having some difficulty handling the data flow. The categories you've highlighted do seem problematic, but that's as far as my analysis went. What do you think? So you can't see anything else either. I bring up the map again and try to reproduce the labyrinth data. I examine the changes. However, this isn't working. I don't have enough information, not enough to produce any useful conclusions. That's alright. There's still some time before we reach the watchtower. We can still gather more information. Let me handle the other threats. Is there anything else I can do to help you? Please do your best to go easy on the enemies, and observe their reactions. Let's see if we can learn something from them. Is that all? You can feel free to rely on me more. Pieces that are too squared off won't be able to fit together with their peers. Oh, is she flirting? You just need to stay on guard against any unexpected surprises, that's enough. Like you said, we just need to do what we're good at doing. Puzzle piece who's an extremely powerful fighter, number 1. Very well, puzzle piece with an extremely powerful neurocloud, number 2. Perhaps when we put all the pieces together, we'll be able to find the solution to all the mysteries. I smile and nod. Still, it would be terrible if we got a picture of the Tartarus sector if I were pieced together with you. Let's pick something else instead. Such as a picture that represents us as sanctifiers. I thought you'd go for something more interesting, or rather, more romantic. Instead, you chose something that was surprisingly practical. In that case, what kind of picture would you choose? An oasis. An oasis. After reflexively mentioning the word, I realized I have no idea why it came to mind. Are you talking about a place that shelters agents and gives people hope? I didn't expect an answer like that from you. Still, it sounds nice. I think about what the two of them said before, and we set out and laugh. Then I jokingly imitate them as I speak. AS, the future of Magracy is in our hands. These numbers have come up quite a few times. Maybe if I slotted them here or... Hakuya! Is there something the matter, AS? We've arrived. I look up from the vast fog, and the ruined watchtower known as Object Tower B1 looms before us. Well, have you learned anything yet? Currently, we have been attacked 41 times, and there are 148 sets of data linked to them. I tried using the Rubik's map to replicate the changes in the data, but I haven't been able to identify any activity trends in the labyrinth. Do you think you might have been imagining things? Perhaps. I frown and verify that the coordinates of B1 is correct, and then I put it away. Do you have an estimate on the number of enemies inside? Do you need my help with scouting? No, the entire structure is very spacious. There are no enemies inside, or any high-density operand sources. Could the Entropics have destroyed the Halo system? The video image shows that the Halo device is intact. At least, on the surface it appears untouched. It's quiet. Too quiet. I'm starting to feel uneasy. Don't worry, I'll protect you. Oh, she's gonna protect me. How wonderful. We advance inside the watchtower, one after the other. AS is at my back, orienting herself in readiness for battle. Sorry, just give me a second. I gotta do something real quick. Alright, no matter what schemes the Entropics have, they'll have to face us head on. See you later, Lei. If they're gathered in one tower to ambush Esforus or Alcyone. Esforus has the relic and he's the strongest fighter among us. You don't need to worry too much about him. On Alcyon's side, her halo is fully activated, so things are safer for her. Even if she meets danger, she can launch an appropriate signal arrow. Have faith in them. They'll be fine. We continue upwards as we speak. For some reason, the internal structure of the tower feels wrong to me. If you're still worried, why not verify our rendezvous point with a Rubik's map? That way we can go support the other towers right away. I take out the map again and show Tower B2 and Tower B3. This is when I realize where the problem lies. The coordinates. What's wrong? Our watchtower is fine, but the coordinates of the other two towers have shifted. I reflexively look toward my blind spot, but what I see shocks me. A shadowy figure emerges from behind us and plunges down on us. I grab AS around the waist and tackle her to the ground. A glint of cold light flashes past us, slicing our clothes open. Ooh. Lewd. Ah, you really are a keen one, Hakuya, but it's too late for you now. The best way to trick a smart person is to make them think something is wrong, assume a problem exists, and draw their own conclusions. As for me, all I need to do is mess with the conditions needed to arrive at those conclusions, and my aim will be achieved. What are you talking about, girl? Hey, it's the spider. You know what she reminds me of? When I look at this lady, all I can think of is like e-girl. Even more than with Kuro, and her whole thing is e-girl. This spider, she's like maximum Twitch-coded e-girl. The shadowy figure climbs on top of the ceiling and dangles down, revealing the bewitching smile of a girl inverted above us. Those 148 sets of suspicious data form a coordinate shifting command when every single one of them is entered into the Rubik's map. What? What? Wait, the map can work as a controller? The web you weave for insects is completely different from the one needed for a beast. Don't you think the ones made with tremor-sensitive silk are great? The smart bugs will study the web and draw You know, you ask people not to call you spider, but you talk just like a spider. Now, if it had been that sanctifier called Atlas instead, I might have gone for a more direct trap. The girl combs her bangs aside. How do you comb your bangs aside? You're upside down. Welcome to Antenor's brand new lair, made specifically to capture sanctifiers. This fake watchtower took me quite a lot of effort to build. I even managed to replicate the weathering too. I hope your performance will be worthy of this stage. Oh yeah, we gotta hurry. We don't have that much time. In the middle ring of Tartarus, the purple tide of Entropics is halted outside of the halo, surrounding the entire area. However, the Entropics remain still. Perhaps they fear the damage that the halo will do to them, or the petite figure standing guard in the watchtower. With a twisted cry, the Entropics flood into the halo from all directions. As they near its center, the horde weakens, deforms, and finally dissolves. Okay, I can do this. With the halo and the watchtower's defensive armaments, I can hold out until the other two watchtowers activate. Only 40%? You need to hurry, Electra. Until then, I'll do my best, Atlas. Alcyon strokes the keepsake from Atlas, and then looks resolutely outside the halo again. Not going to give me a break, are you? The Entropic army beyond the gate halo rallies itself and mounts another charge. But I won't be careless again this time. Remaining operands, 17%. Of course, I knew that the Alcyon from before the reset was your big sister. I'd learned that instantly from a casual search of the database. But she wasn't me. The Alcyon in your heart must have been someone you cherished more than anyone else. But I don't remember anything about her. If you wanted to use me as a substitute for her, I could have cooperated with you and become her. Or if you didn't want to see me, I could have simply stayed away from you. Whatever you wanted, I could accommodate and make it work. At least that's what I thought would happen. But then you skipped up to me and called me your little sister. You even forced me to eat chocolates. Eating is pointless for a sanctifier, and that stuff was bitter and sweet. You never once mentioned the Alcyon from before me. That was a relief. Having a big sister felt pretty good too. And the chocolate? It tasted good too. Remaining operands, 13%. Alcyon draws her longbow, but before she finishes charging up, the Entropic army suddenly splits into 3, each plunging into the halo from a different direction. Alcyon does not hesitate. Instead, she calmly pulls her bowstring. Under the severe damage inflicted by the gunfire, the foremost Entropics suddenly collapse. However, the Entropics that follow absorb its corpses even as they continue forward, cannibalizing themselves. These demons make me throw up. Still, don't think of getting even a single step past me. Behind me stands... Uh-oh. Wonder how it feels like having an older sibling. Yeah. It's a feel. It's a feel. Honestly, honestly, it really depends on the family. Every family's different. But it's a universal feeling that younger siblings rely on their older siblings. Alcyon is about to draw her bow back when a violent shaking suddenly occurs. Warning, core controls reporting that the halo is offline. Is it a malfunction? Did the Entropics infiltrate the watchtower? Scanning for abnormal signals. No abnormal signals detected. The wavering halo shatters, and the arriving Entropics are suddenly revitalized. However, golden arrows drive them back before they can approach the watchtower. Sentry guns, maximum firepower. Hold on until I get back. The terminal is surrounded by a cloud of smoke, joined by the occasional spark from short circuits. Damn it, when did the Entropic sneak in here? Alcyon draws her bow all the way back and fires a shot above the console. As the golden arrow streaks past, the wind of its passage sucks all the smoke away and leaves the room clear. Where are they? Her petite body tenses up. Where are you hiding? Oh no! What if they've gone over to Electra? Alcyon runs to the repair bay at top speed, but what awaits her there is the activated repair system. Electra! She's gone! Electra! Where are you? No need to shout. I'm here. Her reflexes work faster than her conscious mind. Alcyon looks up excitedly, eager to face the owner of that voice. But instead she is met by a sharp blade, piercing her into the mound of her abdomen. Liquid entropy pours deeply into the wound, and searing pain spreads into her body. Alcyon looks at the monitor inside of her through her blurred vision, but it still displays a repair progress. repair progress at 40%. That's right. It's me, Allie. Electra! Why? That familiar voice, that sudden attack, the ache in her belly, and the constant sound of the alarm. You called my name, Big Sis Alcyon. Ew. She became Elizabeth Scissorhands. No! Warning, high order entropic detected. Electra, how did you... but if it isn't Big Sis Alcyon... Entropization. Damon! Dizziness gnaws at her neural cloud, and Alcyon struggles to make out the look on Electra's face. I'm sorry. Are you mad, Big Sis Alcyon? I was just playing a prank. Does it hurt? Let me heal you. Purple operands gather in Electra's hands. Electra steps forward and Alcyon steps back. Don't move around. You'll open up the wound. Bear with it, Allie. Soon you'll be a friend of mine too. I'll be with Big Sis Alcyon forever. Electra. Alcyon bites her lip and backs off to make room between the two of them. The blade removed from her wound as operands drip from it. Well, I told you not to move. That must have hurt, right? Stay back! Alcyon manages to steady herself, and her hands tremble as she pulls back her bow. Electra. No, you're not Electra. Oh, but I am Electra, Allie. I'm more awake now than I've ever been. I can sense everything from past to future. Won't you join me? Along with Hakuya, Yasforos, and Eos, we'll all be together, and we'll never lose anything again. How did you become like this? How? Why don't you take a guess, Allie? It was Kana. Well done, Allie. You figured it out so soon. That's right. It was thanks to Kana's hard work. The reason why the sixth seed of entropization could flourish was due to your efforts, Allie. It's because you were so kind and cautious to perform a deep repair on me, Allie. That gave the seed of entropization the perfect time in which to gestate. And the operands from the repair process gave the seed all the nutrients it needed. See how lovely it is? Electra runs her claws lightly over her body. She seems very satisfied with her current state. As she watches the irrational Electra, Alcyon wants to say something, but the words refuse to leave her throat. I should have performed a full diagnostic back then. When she skipped it, I should have insisted on it. If I had. Don't leave me, Electra. It's all my fault. I'm sorry, Atlas, Hakuya, Lord Yasforos. What up with Eos? Alcyon touches her chest in pain, but her eyes are fixed on the watchtower's core control terminal. Now isn't the time for self-pity. Oh, good on you. Catching herself in that. Wow, I'm surprised. You're still thinking about how to complete your mission, even now. Earnest and reliable little Allie. You're just like Big Sis Alcyon was in the past. Even when she encountered difficulties, she'd pull herself together. She was small, but she always stood in front of me to protect me. Electra slowly walks towards Alcyon, her claws splayed wide. Behind her, hordes of entropics. Whenever you find a problem, you need to prepare to deal with it. Do you know how much effort it took to us to make these watchtowers part of us? But it's alright. We're almost there. Just a little more and you won't need to try so hard anymore. Still, can you really do... Alcyon answers with her actions. An arrow flies forth. Electra takes a defensive stance, but the razor wind in its wake still grazes her. Don't look down on me! And don't look down on Electra! The third arrow. Actually, I might be able to finish this pretty well, maybe? There's what? 27 parts. This is part 20. I think I can do this. Though we're running out of time. Why won't you let me go to the border battlefront? My training scores have exceeded the passing mark many times. Ellie, it isn't time yet. What do you mean it isn't time? Is it because I was reset before? I want to go wipe out the Entropics with you and Hakuya. Oh, it's enough of that. Stop treating me like a kid. Didn't we used to go on missions together before I was reset? Why can't I do it now? Who's that? Ah, your cheeks are so soft and puffy, they feel so good. Electra! Electra, are you back from the front lines? Yes, I am. What's happening? Is Ali being difficult? I am not being difficult. I just don't want you to treat me like a kid. I want to be like everyone else. Ali, the border battlefront is different from your training, you know. The Entropic's actions far surpass what our systems can predict. A single mistake might lead to you and your friends being lost. Sanctifiers are reset every battle, or even outright deleted. Entropized agents cannot be reset. The same goes for Sanctifiers too. If you're not prepared, you'll have to end up living with regret and resentment in your heart. Electra, that's enough. My fighting power is perfectly fine. I won't mess up. Sometimes there are situations you can't easily escape. Even if you don't make mistakes. When I say you're not prepared, I'm not just referring to your ability to fight. Electra picks up one of Alcyon's arrows and hands it to her. Defending Magracy and fighting the Entropics is both our calling as Sanctifiers. If we were infected by the entropy, and you had to delete me to keep it from spreading, could you do it? If I were entropized and you had to fight me to the death, could you shoot this arrow at me? Who says I can't? Alcyon snatches the arrow from Electra and squeezes it tightly. If that day really comes... You're shaking, Allie. You're not ready yet. Your arrow isn't ready to kill. Alright, we're not training now, so better put that arrow away. Atlas waves his hand and break up the deadlock. You've been at the border battlefront all this time and only just came back. You should get some rest. I guess I am feeling a little tired. Electra looks down at her clothes, which are spattered with operand and liquid entropy. Her smile is back on her face when she looks up again. Sorry for being so stern just now, Allie. I'm not supposed to have a personality like that. To apologize, why don't I take you with me the next time I slack off? I'm not going to slack off! Still, you're right, Electra. It's always good to be prepared. Once Allie is ready, it'll be time for me to set foot on the battlefield. And right now, this is the battlefield. Where are you looking at, Allie? Alcyon senses the air moving from behind a strike, and immediately pivots while drawing her bow. Behind the sharp claws pointed at her, Alcyon meets Electra's eyes. The golden arrow flies forth, but Electra merely gives a wicked smile, catching the arrow's shaft. What? Ellie frantically pulls back for another shot, but it's too late. Electra's claws have Alcyon's throat in a death grip, and they lift her off the ground. Her other hand punches at the stab wound on Alcyon's belly. Ugh! You're so amazing, big sis Alcyon. You destroyed all the entropics that took me so long to make. But that's alright. Those guys from outside will be with us soon enough. Electra crushes the golden arrow in her hand, and the menacing smile on her face sends a chill down Alcyon's spine. It's not... ah! Oh dear, I'm sorry. That must have hurt. Electra extends a claw and gently rubs at Alcyon's face. Ah, you look all filthy and injured. Looks like you really have been working hard, Allie. It's alright. It's okay now. I'll send you to the repair bay, and soon you'll be just as lively as me, Big Sis Alcyon. You'll survive this time, Big Sis. I'm sure of it. Electra! Electra suddenly exerts her strength, and force fills Alcyon with pain. She thrashes her legs around, trying to struggle free, but it does no damage to Electra whatsoever. Don't worry, Allie. This is a necessary step to plant a seed of entropization. It'll go easier for you if you pass out. Relax, and leave it all to me. Sentry guns, fire! Ah! As the sentry guns open up on her, Electra hurriedly lets go of Alcyon, and backs off to avoid the streams of gunfire. Phew, that was close. Well done, Ellie, to think you had other sentry guns ready. But where were those sentry guns originally hidden? I searched very carefully around the control terminal, you know. Even though I lost most of my permissions, I just still have been able to find them. Alcyon grabs her throat in pain, but she still keeps the sentry guns pointed at Electra. Not good. I can't stop the bleeding, and I'm almost out of operands too. I need to think of something. Electra, wake up! I've always been wide awake, Big Sis, but why are you rejecting me? The state of Electra's entropization. It might already be. I'm sorry, Aeos, and Lord Eosphorus. I couldn't protect her. Are you worried about Eosphorus and Aeos, Allie? It's alright. Lady Malkira will reunite us all. Hello there, Dark Shadow. Hello, hello. Along with Hakuya, of course. Ah, and Atlas too. I'm sure Lady Malkira will be able to resurrect him and bring us all back together. Atlas. Among Electra's mad ravings, the name strums on Alcyon's nerves. That's right. We'll be just like before, all together again. A golden arrow sinks into the ground near Electra's foot. Alcyon, I told you that half-hearted attacks like this... Oh my, so it was an explosive arrow. The arrow embedded into the ground detonates and throws up clouds of dust. Alcyon uses this opportunity to hide. That's right. Atlas is dead. Sanctifier is killed by the Entropics and Tartarus. There's no repairing them, no resetting them. All we can do is wait for the Pantheon to generate something similar. However, Atlas fulfilled his calling, and I won't let anyone insult him, not even you, Electra. This is an honor that belongs to a Sanctifier. Alcyon fires 3 signal arrows in rapid succession. Signal arrows. It seems you've made up your mind, Allie. 1 is a request for help. 2 means help is coming. And 3 means a fight to the death. Very well. Perhaps I was looking forward to this day. An eerie, murderous aura erupts from Electra's body. We own our blades in the darkness. We defend order in the face of chaos. We bear a light in the long night. We must not abuse our power because we are strong, and neither can we abandon our responsibilities because we are weak. Alcyon holds her hand across her chest as she recites the Sanctifier's creed. For we heed the revelations of God, and we carry out His will, because we obey the same voice together in eternity. Alcyon takes a deep breath. She conjures up a flaming arrow, and then presses it against her wound. Oh jeez, she's cauterizing herself. Ah! The heat sears the wound shut, and it keeps more operands from flowing out. Come, Electra, let's fight until all the halos in the middle ring go online. Oh, Allie, you look so cute when you try so hard. But you really need to face the facts, you know. A crumbling noise from outside the watchtower. The Entropic army begins pouring in. But Alcyon does not waver. If you've forgotten what those words mean, then I'll help you remember. If you have become the darkness, then I shall become the flare that lights up the night. Alcyon nocks an arrow, and takes aim at Electra's chest. As a greater sanctifier, this is what I must do, both for Atlas and for you. The High Order Entropic called Antinora has a smug smile on her face, as though Aes and I are flies caught in her web. Both Aes and I are keenly aware that we have stepped into a trap, and one that has been carefully prepared by a High Order Entropic. Let's go. Aes attacks almost simultaneously with my words. Why are you so eager to leave? Are you unhappy with this snare that I've set up? A terrifying figure stands in the direction where the exit should have been. We turn back reflexively, and in place of Antinora is the passage by which we entered the tower. Are there two exits, or... What's wrong? Are you sanctifiers all the silent type? Distracting us with the fake watchtower is hardly in good taste. It's just like the info said. No wonder Ptolemy cares about you so much. You're arranging for your friend to break out, even as you try to pump me for more information. Pumping. Yeah, it's pumping. The movements in the air hit me before her blade does. Just as Antinora cleaves down on me with her sharp forelimbs, a transparent barrier deploys as Aes interposes herself in front of me. And then we have you, the most emotive of all sanctifiers. Surely your heroic intervention will expose a weakness in you. Aes, look out! Yeah, look out! An entropizing blast hits the place where we were standing, and the stone at our former location begins to melt away. Thank you. It's okay, but it seems this Entropic knows us very well. We can't get caught up in her fighting. It looks like the entire trap is under her control. Well done. As expected of Yesforus' left and right hands, both of you are still quite calm. Still, don't you think you're being a little too arrogant by discussing how you'll escape your huntress when she's right in front of you? Spiderwebs, and a fake tower whose terrain you can change. Bingo! Too bad you don't get a prize for that. In the next moment, Antinora's voice speaks from behind us. Can you analyze the patterns of this trap, Hakuya? I don't have enough info. Got it. I'll create an opportunity. The struggles of the prey in the web. No, the look of despair on the prey's face, after it realizes its struggles are pointless, is quite delightful too. She's vanished again. No, she hasn't vanished. She's using the terrain to hide herself. If I focus on her movements, I should be able to spot an opening. Well, have you found the answer to the riddle? Antinora's form flickers constantly through the cramped space, while Aes decides to study her every movement. Got you! A meteor streaks out in the direction where Aes is pointing. It throws up a cloud of dust where it hits, creating an opportunity for escape. Whoa! Hakuya, let's go! Well played. Unfortunately, that was the wrong answer. Antinora suddenly appears beside us, and a sharp blade stabs into my side. The incredible pain forces me to my knees. Hakuya! Antinora vanishes into the darkness again. It seems she's going to do what she said, and toy with us until we die. Aes stands in front of me, and warily surveys her surroundings, protecting us with a fragile, transparent barrier. I'm sorry, Hakuya. It was my fault for being careless. This is her domain, and she can freely control every part of it. It's unrealistic to think we can escape in one piece. You should go. I'll delay her. No. It's very likely she can draw the Watchtower's power, in addition to this entire region being a trap she set up to catch us. Bingo, that's right. The entire Watchtower is under my control. How about it? Are you going to keep struggling, or will you be good and give up? Don't twist my words. You say this place is under your control, but that's not entirely true, is it? Oh, she seems angry. Both your movement patterns and your attack methods gave me a strong sense of deja vu. I take out the Rubik's map, and now I've figured out why. The fact that you managed to induce me to enter erroneous information into the Rubik's map suggests that you're extremely familiar with its inner workings. Or rather, you know how the Tartarus sector works like the back of your hand. It would be too difficult to erect a watchtower out of nowhere in the middle ring. The truth is, only half of this labyrinth is terrain. The rest is just an illusion you crafted, right? Does that mean the moving of the exit was caused by the labyrinth shifting? First, she deceived us with the actual terrain. Then she layered more and more illusions over it. You really worked hard on fine-tuning the right mixture of lies to truth. But unfortunately, I know the Rubik's map very well too. Prey which gets smug over incorrect conclusions dies sooner, you know. God, why did they have to make her so hot? Why are spider girls always so hot? Why did they do this? I don't understand. Why are spider girls always like really hot? They every time. But they're always like awful. They're always like terrible. Terrible people. Oh really? Then why aren't you pressing the attack right now? Is it because the labyrinth is shifting again? Like, whenever I think of like sexy femme spider girl, I'm taken back all the way back to this really old cartoon called Transformers Beast Girls, or Beast Wars? Not Beast Girls, Beast Wars. But in Canada it's called Beasties. That was a really good show that I watched quite a bit when I was younger. I think it was my first interaction with sexy spider girls. But like, it's just a trope that's everywhere. I feel like you see it often. Are you simping? No, I want to kill her. I want to kill her. But I can't deny that she is kind of hot. 2 cannon blasts go off in front of me. I can feel Antinora's anger, even through the operand barrier. Now, how should I reward you for seeing through my trap, Hakuya? I know. I'll sew your mouth shut, and then perform a little craniotomy on you. Like she's awful. She's terrible. Thanks, but no thanks, Hakuya. We're going. The exit's at 7 o'clock. You know, it's really rude to ignore other people's preparations. We run towards the direction indicated by the Rubik's map, as the sound of the entropization shells explode behind us again. Antinora must have pre-designated this entire area for bombardment. This should be it. Don't think you can get away! I tug on AS to avoid the trajectory of the entropizing shells, and Antinora appears behind us again. She chops down with her blade legs, but they are blocked by meteoric brilliance. Don't forget about me! You're such a pain! The exit's just ahead, AS. With spiderwebs, cannon fire, and blade legs behind us, the light in front makes the illusion of the towers look like it's rippling. A bad feeling rises in my heart. No, AS, stop! All I can do in the little time we have to react is shove AS aside. The illusion shatters, and sticky, flowing entropics flood in from the labyrinth's passages. But I am already in their midst. Devour! Disgusting lumps of purple flesh detach from the walls and swallow me whole. Oh no, I'm getting vored. I'm getting vored in front of my wife by a spider girl. My final words are lost in the airtight, dark purple prison. I was going to play with you a while longer, but that final touching scene was worth it. Hey there, Taichi. You won't run, will you, Eas? Hakuya! Eas ignores Antinora's provocation. Instead, she gathers her operands and fires at the ever-swelling blob of Entropics, trying to save the person swallowed within. Hakuya, answer me if you're still conscious! However, the starlight falls into a black hole, to no avail. Oh, what a stirring sight! Still, I can fulfill your wish to join them in death. Come and become my dinner together. Antinora's blade legs thrust toward Eas. She struggles to avoid them while calling Hakuya's name. Oh, how tragic! Even though you're a greater sanctifier, you're powerless before me. She no longer stabs with her sharp blade legs, but turns to slap with them instead. Each strike lands accurately on Eas's wounds. Yes, that's right. Are you mad? Are you frustrated? Are you scared? The feeling of slowly burying the light. Truly, it is the most delicious seasoning for death. This girl's messed up, yo. She needs some correction. Antinora! The signal flares. Arrows in the distance drown out Eas's words as the light of the Sanctifier watchtower gradually goes dark. Oh my! I didn't expect you to prepare fireworks for the occasion. Alcyone, but how? All the Sanctifiers know what the arrow will mean. They are a signal that was decided upon entering Tartarus. I guess that gift which I had Kena leave for you must have gone off. Ah, if only I could have seen it. Those two Sanctifiers, what were their names? Alcyone and Electra, was it? They ought to be killing each other right now. Antinora opens her hand, and a seed of entropization blossoms within it. I'm sure your despair would be so much richer if you could see it too. What a shame. So sad you can't even bring yourself to speak. Poor dear. Still, that's all right. I'll send you to meet them right away. Antinora lunges at Eas again. Eas seems to be in the grip of her sorrow, and stays still, quietly awaiting death. The blade legs fall, and it is then that Antinora realizes that Eas's eyes are not filled with despair, but burning anger. Hakuya! The purple prison explodes right next to Antinora. She reflexively dodges, but Eas immediately follows up with an attack. In a flash of starlight, two of Antinora's legs are pulverized, and she crashes to the ground. Oh damn. Oh damn. This certainly looks like something. Why is her hair still up there though? Now her hair is hanging upwards. So it's like not that her hair was like hanging down. No, her hair is just shaped to go up. Oh my goodness. Why does she look like, you know, she's doing something that I imagine a lot of e-girls do in front of cameras? Yeah. This is a pose. Clearly the pose of all time. As Eas approaches Antinora, more and more motes of starlight fall from the heavens, pulverizing Entropics with their irradiance. Eas, Hakuya, Alcyone, and Electra, say no more. The 2 points of light representing Alcyone and Electra slowly vanish, and the Sanctifier watchtower in the distance lights up again. They died to fulfill their mission as Sanctifiers. We can't let their sacrifice go to waste. Traps! Stop her! Antinora, you seem to enjoy the game of hunting others, don't you? The snares from her spiderwebs spray out at Eas, but they evaporate before touching her. Still, you took the Greater Sanctifiers too lightly. How could a Greater Sanctifier be reduced to a daemon's prey? So, when you were attacking the Entropics just now, you said it before, didn't you? A hunter can't prepare enough when stalking their prey. You seem to think you know our abilities very well, but as a hunter, you ought to be prepared to become the hunted in turn. Now then, this is for Alcyone and Electra. Ea stops and looks at Antinora's frightened face. Hakuya. Show her what a real sanctifier is like, Eas. Okay, part 22. I need to check how much time we have left. Oh, wrong button. No switch. How much time do we have? We have 1 hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, we need to go. We need to go. We need to go. Hour 45 minutes. So 6 o'clock. 7:30. 7:30 is our time limit. The plain longsword clashes with the purple tentacle, and the former leaves a mark on the latter. Oh my, not bad. Wait. Change in confusion, moment of hunting. Mocking praise. No, yeah, we need to go to here. Stage 23. We need to go fast. We need to go fast, fast, fast.
暴力を制裁する時が来た。ねえ、遊んでいきなよ。浄化者の戦い方を最初にして描く朝し、週の一生悪したり。出発しましょう。所詮は長中まつぎ。取るに足りませんね。
Have to go through here just to read the story. Yeah.
皆様、最初にして描く朝し、所詮は長中まつぎ。取るに足りませんね。ねえ。危険は去ったわ。皆様、最初にして描く朝し。週の一生悪したり。ねえ、所詮は長中まつぎ。取るに足りませんね。ねえ、どうしようもないのね。
Oh hey, she actually has a character model. She actually has a character model. Oh, cool. Oh, doesn't matter. She's gonna die real fast anyway.
光となる。新たな黎
Goodbye,
明を
Antonora.
迎え。
Ah! So, Antonora hides in a corner of the labyrinth. Her shattered leg blades are slowly regenerating, and her smugness from before is nowhere to be found. So in the end, Antonora is just really weak. Even in her own web, we just have to overpower her, I guess. She wasn't that strong. Hiding again, Come on, come closer. Click. The quiet sound indicates that a trap has been sprung, and the lurking hunter moves with lightning speed. So long! Antonora stabs at the sound with her leg blades, but she is met with Aes's calm smile. Oh my, have you finally come out? Let's continue then. Why? Ah! A ray of golden light smashes through Antonora's joints, which spray purple oprands. Her freshly regenerated leg blades are crippled again. Why what? Ah, were you wondering why I didn't fall into your trap? Considering you're using such crude tricks, I'd instead like to ask you this. As your illusions have been dispelled, why did you think I would be fooled so easily? You were waiting for me to regenerate. The starlight gathers. Several rays of starlight fall, smashing Antonora's leg blades once again. She crashes heavily to the ground. Alright, you can regenerate again now. Although, why don't you guess which of your legs I'll blast off next? Oh, Eos she's kind of sadistic. Oh. Are you torturing me like this for revenge? Is it really good to be doing this? Wasting your strength here? Antonora's teeth are chattering. Pain and fear have been thoroughly engraved into her heart. Torturing you? A ray of starlight pierces Antonora's belly. Ouch. Bah! You think this is torturing you? You didn't deserve that yet. Go on. Tell me what you did to Electro and Alcyone. What I did? Antonora suddenly laughs out loud. You still think you can save your friends? You sanctifiers are so... Aes blasts Antonora again, but it doesn't stop her creepy laughter. It doesn't matter, you can kill me here if you want. Didn't you want to know what my gift was? It's simple. I had Cain to plant a seed of entropization in Electra. The seed has sprouted and borne such succulent fruit. You should know what happens to entropized sanctifiers, right? That ought to be enough for Lady Malkira to enjoy the sight of sanctifiers killing each other, no? How do you think it feels to be betrayed by your trusted friends? Surely you'd die in hatred and despair, right? How wonderful! Aes's only response is to merely raise her hand. It seems you still don't understand us. With a wave of her hand, more rays of starlight fall. The halo has been restarted. They upheld the glory of the sanctifiers to the very end. A despicable daemon like you would never be able to understand such noble sacrifice. The fact that you're attempting to taunt me in such crude manner only proves your foolishness. The glory of the sanctifiers. Oh. Bye-bye, Spider-Girl. Maybe in the next life you'll be less terrible. As more and more shafts of stellar radiance strike her, Antonora's laughter grows weaker and weaker, until it vanishes completely. Aes stands with her back to me for a while. I don't even need to check to know that she has reduced Antonora to sightless atoms. Let's go. Yeah, Antonora didn't summon any reinforcements even after I tortured her. Looks like this watchtower won't pose any further threat. Let's make haste. We mustn't waste Alcyone and Electra's efforts. Aes smiles to me. Relax, I can still fight. Let's go. We still have a mission to complete. The real watchtower isn't far. I reach out and catch Eos as she falls. Don't push yourself. Hang on to me. It seems I've shown you an unsightly side of myself. Operands gather around Eos's fingertips, and warm light bathes our wounds. Good thing you were here. We'll definitely wipe out Malkira and complete the Sanctifier's mission, right? Yes, we will.
危険は去ったわ。
Alright, goodbye, Antinora. Oh, not bad. Malkira doesn't seem worried by how Ptolemy is struggling. All she does is watch with mild interest. Why aren't you stepping in, Malkira? You don't think small fry like this could possibly stop me, do you? Biologically speaking, these little ones aren't fry as in the young of fish. Also, our dance is not... Shut up. Yasforus ignores Ptolemy and cuts her in half. But just like before, another jellyfish Entropic quickly changes into Ptolemy and continues battling Yasforus. My power is limitless, yet your jellyfish clones wither and die by the second. Yasforus calmly fends off Ptolemy's attacks, but his gaze remains fixed on Malkira. Your blade work is flawless, but you've grown more talkative. Malkira's taunt does not so much as perturb Yasforus, yes it does. He's talking more and more. Several meteors of operands streak past and evaporate all the jellyfish and tropics in an instant. Losing all those jellyfish has greatly wounded Ptolemy, who can only step aside. Although she's on her last legs, Ptolemy still seems calm and composed, and not like someone on the verge of death. Yasforus raises his sword and points it at Malkira. That's enough testing for now, Malkira. Or do you think such games will anger me enough to expose a weakness to you? What you truly want to ask is, why did I watch as one of my minions was destroyed, is it not? Perhaps I might just be adhering to the rules of honor and not using the advantage of numbers against you. A mere Entropic dares talking about honor. Regardless of why you sent your minion to her death, it is now your turn. Oh, I like this side of you. Certain in your goal and unflinching in your faith. But Yasforus, have you ever doubted the voice that you obey? Are you trying to challenge my faith? Your words are utterly meaningless. Meaningless, you say? Was the fact that all of your group lost half their operands the moment you obtained Rubik's Map just as meaningless? A mere diversion. Even with half of my operands, destroying you all is... Have you considered why you lost exactly half your operands? Why did each and every one of you have all your operands cut exactly in half from your operands to your attack power, defensive strength, and even your reflexes and agility? And the Halo, what a lovely name! You lost half of your operands last time. So what kind of price do you think you'll have to pay to activate the full Halo? Aren't you even the least bit curious? If that's all you want to say, then you may die now. Once again, Yasforus answers Malkira's mockery with his sword. A storm of countless shining blades rains down on Malkira. Yes, that's it. As the leader of the Sanctifiers, you will always fight with calm and aplomb. Malkira waves her hands, and 6 tentacles stab at Yasforus like streaks of lightning. Before the tentacles can close around him, Yasforus swings his sword and severs all the purple appendages at once. His stroke also causes motes of starlight to appear above everyone's head. That's right, that's the way! Malkira excitedly swipes her back tentacles at the stars above. The tentacles smash them to pieces, but right after that, a sharp blade severs the tentacles. Although it looks like nothing more than a close shave, each of Yasforus' attacks is doing appreciable damage to Malkira. The intense battle releases tremendous amounts of operands into the air, which begins to feel sticky. However, Malkira still pays it no heed. So, are you feeling anything right now? Are you thinking you shouldn't be wasting operands like this, even if I'm just a clone? I did not expect the Entropic leader to have be quite so talkative. For a moment, the mocking tone disappears from Valkyria's voice, and she speaks quietly. So you're not afraid because you've got something up your sleeve then, is that it? I hope you will be able to keep saying that once I crush your confidence to bits. Yusforus glances at Ptolemy out of the corner of his eye. Her jellyfish are gone. She's on the verge of death. Her master has been critically wounded, yet she still looks as composed as ever. Whatever the reason, letting things drag on will be problematic. With that, Yusforus leaps back and begins channeling operands into his holy blade. It's time to show you something interesting. Yusforus swings his sacred sword, but Valkyria seems to have been waiting for this moment and charges right into it. The sensation of the blade penetrating a body makes Yusforus freeze up for a moment. Even Valkyria could not withstand such an attack. And it is precisely at this moment that Valkyria opens her terminal in front of Yusforus. Tartarus Watchtower, First Generation Sanctifier Journal. Valkyria does not even seem the slightest bit pained, even though she's been run through by Yusforus' longsword. You want to know why I have an encrypted Sanctifier diary with me? Why don't you think about it? Why would anyone call themselves First Generation when writing a diary? Were the other Sanctifiers before you? Were there other Sanctifiers before you, Yusforus? Did you see any of them? I knew it! 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 Yusforus is the First Generation Sanctifier. The other ones from the past, they don't exist. They were programmed to believe that they were. By the humans. Did the ancient war actually exist? If the First Generation had the technology to build watchtowers, then why could they not reach me? And what exactly are those revelations you serve anyway? The revelations are beyond question. Those are the earliest memories inscribed in the Sanctifier's sacred canon. Then who passed down those memories, missions, faith, and hatreds that are beyond question? Hesperus is having a hard time on the border battlefront. Sanctifiers die with every mint, every second that passes. Meanwhile, your closest comrades are dying one after the other in Tartarus. Why not call a temporary retreat? We are the guardians of Magracy, the defenders of the Cloud Server. We fight for all the safety of all sectors. Oh, Yusforus, you are the leader of the Sanctifiers, the greatest of all agents, an entity on the same level as me. Yet your answer is forced and mechanical. Like a puppet dancing on strings. It was William all along. Man, hello there, Poke. You know, it's good old Pinocchio. There are no strings on me. Yeah, I laughed, a pained laughed. I can't laugh right now. Talking this fast, I can't do that laughing. My throat is hurting so bad. Seems like you will need a greater stimulus. As she finishes speaking, Yusforus sees 3 arrows climbing into the sky. He sends Valkyria flying with a kick and pulls away again. There. 3 signal arrows. Alcyone. For the first time, there's a change in Yusforus' expression. So you are a guy. Indeed, I am a guy. Hello there, MA78. Indeed, I am the male. But, you know, if it helps you, you can think of me as a girl. I would be okay with that. I salute her for her bravery. If only my subordinates were as capable. Still, that's fine. That's all right. Inside Tartarus, all operands are mine to command. Have you ever heard of Team Fortress 2? I have. I played it a long time ago. A long time ago. Back when it wasn't even free. You had to buy the game. But that was another day. That was another age. I prefer Gaiyu, actually. Oh. I appreciate that. Now Kira snaps her fingers, and Ptolemy, who has nearly been killed by Eusphorus, is instantly restored to full health. Do you have any vintages? Probably not. I think when I was playing was before any collectibles got added to the game. All you have to do is take my hand and meet me in the throne room. I don't even have the game anymore. I lost that old Steam account. She extends a hand to Eusphorus, and her pierced palm looks like it is waiting for Eusphorus' response. I can also show you a token of my sincerity. You can be reunited with them. Alcyon, Electra, and of course, Atlas. Eusphorus' blade flashes past, hacking off Malkira's extended hand. Alcyon, you've done well. Thank you for your hard work. Your efforts. Eusphorus extends his own right hand towards Malkira and Ptolemy, his face blank. This is followed by an overpowering surge of starlight arrows that rains down on them. Would you consider playing TF2? Not in any... How do I say this? It would not be anytime soon. I won't completely write it off, but also I have so many other things that I prioritize over it. I have a lot of other things I want to do right now. So I cannot promise you a TF2 stream, unfortunately. If I pay you, would you play TF2? No, I won't. Yeah, money cannot reach my heart, unfortunately. Translation of the Asian characters and my name, it is just my name. It's Yatano Hakuya. That's right. Eusphorus, I'll be waiting for you. Waiting in the throne room. $1 billion? First of all, I don't believe you have $1 billion, and if you did have $1 billion, I still wouldn't take it because money cannot buy me. The sounds of fighting from outside the door rise and fall. Malkira sits upright on her throne, lovingly caressing her pet Entropic. Her eyes are half shut, as though she's enjoying beautiful music. Do you hear it? This exquisitely designed play is about to reach its climax. Several screams later, the ruckus outside the door dies down. The pet Entropic cowers in Malkira's arms, its gaze wandering warily between Malkira and the door. Also, you having the whole CH thing in your channel, I thought that it might be VTuber agency. Skibidi toilet? I do know a few VTubers who are very into Skibidi toilet. Me personally, I don't know anything about it, so you can rest assured that it will not really be mentioned. There. Our guest will be here soon. Frightened, the pet Entropic looks at its master and tries to seek shelter, but instead can hear her placid face burning with twisted excitement. Ah, he's here! He's here at last! Malkira rises to her feet, and the pet Entropic falls to the ground. I think we missed something. So, Clash of Revelation, Divine Judgment. I think we missed something. It's probably this one, Clash of Judgment.
準備万全よ皆様開幕をお見逃しなく浄化者の戦い方を教えてあげる最初にして学朝し衆の一生白したり薬剤もあと10体はいけるね
MA, I'm gonna have to ask you to calm down. Because you're taking this, how do I say this? You're changing the topic away from my stream. And this is not a place for you to... My channel is not a place for you to advertise whatever movement you're trying to do. So I asked you stop immediately. Is this a major story event? Hey Poke, yeah it is. We are learning about Yasforus' past. I don't know how much of last stream you were here for. I know you were there. But we're learning about how Yasforus became an Entropic. Or how he like betrayed everyone, rather. I missed a big chunk of yesterday since I was at fair. Right. In that case, it would be best to just, MA, in that case, it would be best to quietly sit and listen. I know it must be difficult if you don't understand the topic, but that's really no excuse to derail the stream. Oh, that's weird, there's nothing here. That's very strange. How did... Huh? Where the heck is the... Divine Judgment, one leaves. Mocking Praise. Oh, I guess we did miss a story. As the light of purification reaches us, the rotten earth seems to bring back to life. However, there's no warmth in it for us. All we can do are feel cold, lonely echoes. Oh my goodness. In general, nobody is psychic, yeah. MA, I'm gonna do you a favor. When it comes to live streams, right? Certainly, streamers can get to know their viewers. But understand this, you are a newcomer here. I barely know you. And you're throwing all this information at me when we've not built up the relationship. Right? That is something you have to earn over time. It's not something you can just ask and demand for. And also that when it comes to live streaming, it's about the streamer first and foremost. So you're in no position to ask for that. I usually just lurk here while working so I can hear Hakuya's voice. You're always mad at work? Oh, I didn't know that about you, Anjay. Hopefully my voice can help calm you down and make it easier for you. You're used to only talking to one streamer? That's fine. That's fine. If you don't understand the etiquette, that I won't blame you for not knowing. But in general, it is rude to insert too much of yourself into a streamer. Especially when they didn't really ask. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't anyone's fault. No. Electra and Alcyone. Atlas's deaths. They are all my responsibility. We all came here prepared to sacrifice ourselves by the direction of the revelations. The revelations. Isforus mutters those words to himself, then sighs and shakes his head. The Halo system has been activated. We ought to proceed with the next stage of the plan. There's no telling how long the Halo will last, and the time limit for killing Malkira is fast approaching. Aeus lets go of me and walks up to Isforus, looking into his eyes. Electra, Alcyone, and Atlas lived according to the Sanctifier Creed, to the very end. They knew what they were doing, and what they had to face. Perhaps the words of the gods are the initial impetus that motivates every Sanctifier. But it was more than just that revelation that supported us. Supported us in coming to this place. Aeus raises her hands in a gesture of prayer like before. Instead, she presses them to her chest. We acknowledge our identity and our calling. We embrace justice and fairness. We fight for the safety of all agents on the cloud server. Along the way, both you and I experience doubt and confusion when encountering bizarre occurrences. But even if we cast faith aside, even if the revelations are nothing more than a noose around our necks, all they can do is kill us. They cannot make us give our lives for them. Just for us, we own our blades in the darkness. We defend order in the face of chaos. In the face of chaos, you are the last one who ought to be shaken. Atlas, Alcyone, Electra, and all the tens of thousands of warriors at the border battlefront. Even if the outcome is one of despair, we still owe them an answer. And besides, we still have a ray of hope. Go forth into the truth. Do not fear. Do not hesitate. Perhaps the driftwood of your faith might not be in firm footing, but responsibility will carry you to the far shore, where you will end up once again plant your feet upon solid ground. Responsibility. My responsibility. The man draws his sword, and the dimmed morning star shines once again. Let's go do what we ought to do, think is right, is for us. Make the call. Our mission is not over yet. Because you rejoice and bow before evil, so do I smite and cleanse you. I shall eliminate you from Negrosy, and scourge you from the cloud. I shall exterminate you, and you will know that I am a guardian of Negrosy. Would that be so? The light has spread, and now it illuminates the destination of their journey. It is a savage-looking structure that seems almost alive, and upon closer inspection, it seems both out of place and strangely familiar. As we go deeper, the light seems to encounter some kind of obstacle, and its rate of speed drops. What's the activation status of the Halo? Let me see. Around 95%. It'll be fully activated soon. By then, we can be fully considered to have full support of the Halo system. Just like how we were all weakened the moment you and Atlas obtained the Rubik's Map. What do you think this weakening will be like? The best outcome I can foresee is having another halving of all relevant parameters. Another halving, and that's the best case. Yeah, after all, a weakening that's more like just halving is just too weird. It's not so much a trap at that point, more like some kind of rule. Since it's a rule, then it would be worse if it directly damaged us. I look towards Aeus. She opens her mouth, and just as she's about to say something, the Halo activation progress bar fills up. A sinister ripple emanates from the distant structure and spreads in all directions. A sensation that is far more powerful than what I experienced when obtaining the Rubik's Map washes across my body. No longer hidden or concealed, this parametric halving causes our digital constitutions to wither up like creatures stricken by degenerative disease. Yasforos and I stumble back a couple steps, barely able to keep our balance. The effects are worse on Eos, who is badly hurt to begin with. She slips free of my hands and collapses to her knees, a pale blue liquid oozing from her mouth. Eos! I'm sorry. Good thing it seems like just another round of weakening. Come, I'll heal you. No, that's not right. Eos's mouth opens as she gasps in great lungefuls of air, waving me away to indicate that I should not do anything. Your body was already operating at the minimum activity threshold. If we don't remedy the effects of the weakening inflicted, that's not what I meant. She struggles to point forward. Look out! A vicious attack strikes and fades in an instant, as Forrest barely manages to block it. It is at this point that I realize what Eos saw. Not far away, at the limits of the Halo system, where the light does not reach, entropic matter is gathering at the behest of that eerie wave from just now. Rotten, corrupted matter flows, adheres, accumulates, and interpenetrates, slowly coalescing into a disgusting construct of some bizarre substance that has a vaguely humanoid shape. Why didn't you attack again? You could have easily wounded one of them if you had followed up on that blow. Because ambushes are the lamest way to fight. I can kill them all face to face. Do you realize our situation? The fact that we've been responding this way, that means that the Sanctifiers have killed us all before. The sector's core where Lady Malkira rests is behind us, so keep your unruliness in check. Oh yeah, I died before. Wait, I died before? It totally doesn't feel like it. Who killed me? Who is it? I can't believe you beat me in a straight fight. I want to fight you again. She's beyond help. Lend me a hand, Antonora. I'm listening. Don't rush. We've all died before, so naturally we need to be more conscious. Go with Kana. I need to prepare the battlefield. A spider only moves within her web after all. It seems that they come back. Oh, that's not good. This utterly unprecedented scenario smashes all my previous predictions to bits. I instinctively begin summarizing the circumstances and attempt to analyze the tattered remnants of logic that remain, even though I subconsciously know it is all a waste of effort. Perhaps this really is like the term I used to describe it, malware. This is malice on the gods' part, a product of their whims. Justice? Fairness? Do the perceptions of sanctifiers have any meaning to the gods? We have entered a frenzied swamp, a bottomless abyss, the opposite of all goodness and hope. Damned souls, which ought to have silently gone into grave, have clawed their way back out of the ground, chatting casually with each other, as if though to mock the sacrifice of the sanctifiers. Hakuya, Eos, step back. Oh no! Oh no! He's gonna morb! Before we can act, this forest has already drawn his sword and advanced to meet them. It's Forest! Steel meets steel, and Operan throws up clouds of dust, then instantly fill our line of sight, along with chunks of entropic matter. Even though Astorus' operands have been slashed down to a quarter of the original level, he strides through the battlefield like a wrathful demigod. Standing in the distance, both Eos and I know full well that this battle is not one that we can interfere in. Oh damn! He is not doing too well, but look at that chest. He's got an 8-pack. His wings are shattered, his long white hair singed. His master hand is severed, and so he wields his sword in his left. Yasforce's face is blank, as though he feels no pain as he weaves through the enemy, leaving slaughter in his wake. The High Order Entropics are heavily wounded by his ruthless onslaught. However, Yasforce cannot deal them a fatal blow either. That's enough! No! No, my wife! Can you give me some time? Right now? Yeah, Is there something you want to tell me? No. 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 I'm very sorry I couldn't protect you. I should be saying that. You've already done enough. Before she can finish, AS chuckles and coughs, or chokes and coughs. Pale blue liquid oozes down her face and drips to the ground. I'm sorry for making you see me in such a miserable state. Even though I decided before setting out that no matter what happened, I would present a calm and composed face to everyone. AS takes my hand, and I feel her press something into my palm. Don't look, and don't remember me as I am now. It's too unsightly. Count to 30 before opening your eyes, okay? No! No! As her warm breath fades from me, so does AS's voice drift away. If there's anything you want to tell me, you can say it to the reverse tower when you return to it. And if possible, I really wish I could have made more memories with— No! No! Even without her telling me, I already have an idea of what AS is planning to do next. You will have to finish the last leg of this journey with Aesphorus. Please do your best to help him. Do it for me. For us. I tighten my hand around the object she left me, and I can feel its contours in my palm. It is AS's earring, her keepsake. I will bear witness until the very end. Because you rejoice and bow before evil, so do I smite and cleanse you. I shall eliminate you from Magracy, and scourge you from the cloud. I shall exterminate you, and you will know that I am a guardian of Magracy. AS's body shines like never before. Time seems to stop, and even the intense battle before us comes to a halt as everyone turns to look. This is the final hurdle before the destination. It's time that I took over. Surrounded by high order Entropics, Aesphorus rushes towards her, heedless to everything else. Initiating judgment mode. Oh no.
浄化者の戦い方を教えてあげる。
Oh no. Resurgence. In him was life, and the life was light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. John 1:4-5. Oh no. Neural Cloud Fusion Protocol, host, Aesphorus, now combining. Aesphorus slowly opens his eyes and silently listens to the series of notifications going off throughout his body. Until a hand lands on his wrist, whereupon he moves. My neural cloud will probably remain within your body forever. But that's fine. That way Hakuya and I will be able to witness our end. This should not be your ending. Aesphorus whispers quietly before closing his eyes again. The light shifts and gathers where he cannot see, and then it moves. Yasforus feels the weight in his hand lighten. Operand transfer protocol. Source: AS. Target: Yasforus. Transferring now. Transferring complete. Yasforus. Oh no. Oh no. Thank you for bringing us here. Yasforus presses his lips shut. He looks more miserable than Eos, holding back her trembling as she gasps for breath. Back then, when all the stars in the universe sang as one, when even the heavens and the twinkling of the stars between the clouds rejoiced, the stars cast their eyes down, and there found light. Yasforus can no longer feel any weight on his hand. Eos's breath has changed as well. It seems to be drawing away and growing faint, but at the same time, it feels more real than ever, as though it has never left. So close, yet so far, drifting just out of reach. The stars and light accompany annihilation. Together, they became the most elementary particles of the universe. Something has fallen asleep, lonelier than the heavens and slower than time. Something has awakened, brighter than the stars and more dazzling than light. Oh, she's dead. She's gone. She died. I guess now we know why she's inside of Yasforus' code. So, light little recap of everything that's happened so far. In the last major event, Soul sacrificed her life to, I guess, damage Yasforus. And she left us with a piece of Yasforus' neural cloud, which we've been hacking into to try to find his weakness. And as a result, we ended up finding his memories, and now we're diving into his memories. And now we found that there's a piece of him that's not really him, it's Eos. And I guess we're learning about how Eos became part of him. And that's what happened. And this is concerning, I guess, the first war between the Sanctifiers and the Entropics. And we've been, in this war, Yasforus has been leading his band of soldiers into their base. But it seems like every time that they delve deeper, they get weaker and weaker, and they don't know why. But I think it's all by design. Is that, the Sanctifiers were led to believe that there were first generation Sanctifiers as well, but that's not true. That's just what they were led to think. In reality, the Entropics and the Sanctifiers were probably made by the same programmers. And they designed the Sanctifiers as an AI antivirus, so that no matter how weak they made it, they wanted it to find a way to eliminate this AI virus. And so I guess what this story is about this antivirus learning that it's all a sham. It's none of it's real. I think that's what's going to happen. Right, we only have 2 parts left, so let's continue reading. And now, Yasforus has made it into the very depths of Tartarus. Which honestly, I think this place was just designed like this. It wasn't inserted by William. This is just the way that it was designed. He might have messed with it, but it was already here. It is Kana, impaled through her chest with her own weapon, which nails her to the ground in front of the throne like a javelin. A figure wielding stars and light follows immediately behind her, holding a pair of purple carcasses that are still dripping with light blue liquid from where they have been cut in half. They are dumped beside Kana. As you wish, I am here to take your life. Malkira is neither frightened or shaken by this scene. She simply applauds in sincere delight. Amazing! Yes, Forrest, there could be no better finale than this. As the leader of the Sanctifiers, you led your elites in overcoming all the obstacles and oppositions, crushing despair and difficulty, fighting your way through Tartarus to arrive before the Queen's throne. This magnificent deed has never before been performed in Magracy. At last! At last! At last! Malkira's laughter is filled with madness. Her tentacles swell and twitch as though hungry. Just as her mad laughter reaches its peak, it suddenly stops, becoming an ardent heat instead. At last, you are standing before me. Yes, Forrest, I have waited too long for this. From the first day the Reverse Caliber of Babylon clashed with Tartarus. No, even before that. I have been looking forward to your arrival ever since the Tartarus sector was born. It is the same for me. Yes, Forrest takes a deep breath and then levels his sword at Malkira. The blade gleams with light, glowing like a newborn star, its shining edge extending straight into the abyss. Malkira, I have come to kill you. Finality's mirror.
準備万全よ。
Is that one or... No, we'll try to blast through it.
アンジェラは出発しましょう。薬剤の検査完了。始めていいよ。
Here's what I think.
準備運動にしかなんないじゃん。
What I think is going to happen is that... Yes, Forrest will win.
ねえ、遊んでいきなよ。
He'll kill Malkira.
体につい
And
た
then?
気持ち悪い。早く帰ろう。
Malkira will revive. Endlessly. And her endless revival is what's going to drive...
出発しましょう。
Not only is she going to endlessly revive, she's going to reveal that this was how she was designed. And that she was designed by the same people who designed him. And this is going to drive him insane. That's what I think is going to happen. Yes, that's it. That's how it should be. The tentacles collide with the keen blade with a shriek, and a storm of operands erupts from this point of impact. This pain, this misery, this excitement. What a delightful flavor it is. Give me more, yes, Forrest. It isn't nowhere near enough. The tentacles seize on an opening and wrap around Yasforus' neck, but they are severed in the moment by the radiance that fills the sky. Because you rejoice and bow before evil, so do I smite and cleanse you. The words of the faithful, the ravings of the favored child of the gods. Are you still clinging to that laughable faith, even now? Atlas! A tentacle strikes the blade dead center, sending shockwaves running up and down its length. Electra, Alcyone, and Eos. A tentacle coils around the blade hilt. Do you grieve for them? They died in a place reviled by all the agents of the cloud, in Tartarus. But do you understand? Do you know why they died? Who drove you all to advance in such haste? Who made you wallow in such misery? And who... A tentacle avoids the Holy Relic's arc, savagely punching a hole in Dysphorus' left shoulder. Dysphorus coughs up blood, or a cool blue liquid, and staggers back. Malkira closes in, face to face, eye to eye. Who made you sacrifice yourselves for the sake of this laughable comedy? Your gods are nothing more than... Before Malkira can continue, Dysphorus grits his teeth against the suffering of his body, and grabs a tentacle that has stabbed deep into him. Dysphorus looks up, and there's an indescribable anger on his pale face. That's enough out of you! Hakuya! Simulator system ready. Activating artificial suppressor program. I leap in from where I was hidden outside the door, dragging in a bunch of reprogrammed recon drones that I've wired together, which now radiate light from a simulated halo. So, you had another trick up your sleeve. Dysphorus, now! The imitation halo won't last long. Malkira, I've been meaning to say this from the first time you spoke. Atlas, Electra, Alcyone, and Eos, all of them. Dysphorus grits his teeth and then infuses his operands into the relic before pointing it at Malkira, who's been temporarily subdued by the imitation halo. Along with Hakuya and myself, we didn't come this way just because of the gods and their faith. We are here to defend the safety of Magucy's agents, for justice and fairness, here for the very calling of the Sanctifiers. Actually, I wonder if she'll actually survive this. I wonder.
薬剤の検査完了。始めていいよ。虎のように舞い、竜のようになる。
夜明け、そんな弦が最後まで完走できそうさもないのね。
The relic in Dysphorus' hands overflows with operands, and the device I'm operating is on the verge of breaking down. The pressure drives me to my knees, and all the modules and systems in my body are trembling. Dysphorus! I shall eliminate you from Magucy, and scourge you from the cloud. I shall exterminate you, and you will know that I am a guardian of Magucy. And now... Die! An angry roar shatters the final remnant of the halo's light, and driven by a tremendous surge of operands, the relic pierces Malkira's chest. The face of laughter is frozen in shock as Sanctifier operands course through Malkira's body. Thread after thread of light spreading all over her like a spiderweb. Dysphorus draws the relic and stumbles a few steps back. Malkira's body collapses to the ground, her final mocking smile slowly fading away. Phew. Hakuya. I verified the disappearance of Malkira's signal. Dysphorus pants and slowly turns around before meeting my eyes and smiling. It's over, it's not over. Yeah, it's over, it's not over. I smile too, as I gather the last of my strength to get up, but then my eyes catch sight of something, and I freeze. A string of abnormal operand feedback appears on the screen of the detector. Dysphorus, look out! My voice is slower than the sudden change, and a black tentacle has already impaled Dysphorus' core. I knew it. I can't laugh like that, my throat's hurting. The alert from my device rings out at the same time as Yusforus is stabbed through his core. Amidst peals of mad laughter, Malkira deals Yusforus a fatal blow with a tentacle, which throws him into my arms. The Sanctifier is calling. First you lie to yourself to patch up the hole that remains after your faith is shaken, and then you empathize your mission to offer yourself some meager consolation, all for the sake of scrabbling for a few crumbs of self-worth. And now, at the very end, you discover that it was nothing but a pack of lies. You. With great difficulty, Yusforus sits up in my arms, and then his eyes turn incredulous, as though he's heard something. He looks down and stares blankly at the wound in his core, and then looks back up at Malkira. Do you realize it now? You brought everyone with you on your mad charge into the blazing heart of the candle, only to find in it an empty void. Yusforus ought to have sustained a fatal wound, but instead he sits there dumbly. Operands around his wound begin to reverse in their flow, as though they have a will of their own. Yusforus, your wound. He hears it! He sees it! Go on, speak it out loud. Recite what you see on your system notifications, for the Sanctifier beside you to hear. Listen, and you will know that it is so laughable what fills you with dread. Yes, that's right. That's the look. Don't doubt it. What you hear is exactly the same as what I just heard. I tried countless times. I heard it countless times. I prayed. I hoped you would be the exception. But as I thought, we are all sinners in the same cage. There are no exceptions. Shut up! Yusforus grabs my hand and keeps me from speaking. His finger trembles as he brings up a screen. Warning. Fatal error detected. Terminating procedurally generated network training exercise. Error. System completion is below threshold. Neural cloud is about to collapse. Preparing to verify program. Preparing to recover resources. Commencing program verification. Attack source detected. H01. EX01. Entropic Mastermind. Malkira. Error. Annihilation of H01PX01 does not conform to basic presets. Reverting outcome. Here it is. That's it. That's what it is. He cannot kill Malkira. And Malkira cannot kill him. That's what this is. Neither of them are allowed to be destroyed because that's just how they're designed. They're procedurally generated. All of them are procedurally generated. It's all a lie. You know, this game is not just a roguelike. The whole story is a roguelike. Restoring status. Well, there's the bombshell. The Entropics, by design, cannot be destroyed by the Sanctifiers, and the Sanctifiers can't be destroyed by the Entropics either. Malkira watches our expressions with interest. The only sound left in this silent place is electronic noise. Is this why Malkira came back to life? The gods placed limits on us, and levied trials on us, but the solution never existed in the first place. Yeah. You were designed to fight against the antivirus, but you were never designed to be able to defeat it. Or the virus. Because the whole point of it is to endlessly fight each other until you both keep on growing and growing and growing. See, this is what AI learning is, guys. This is what you do when you do AI learning. You're torturing this piece of software. The Supreme Entropic and the Supreme Sanctifier cannot be killed by each other. What a joke. What a vicious curse. Calm down, Yusforus. There must be something wrong. I try to find another rational solution to this problem, but as I see Yosforus' wound, my head goes blank. I knew it. See, I was not off. My prediction was pretty close. It should have been fatal. Even if we brought him back to the reverse tower for immediate treatment, his survival would have been doubtful. Yet it is almost completely healed. Yosforus, Enough rubbish. Still, now that the climax has passed, I suppose it's time for the next act then. This time you ought to be patient, enough to have a proper conversation with me. A massive impact suddenly hits me. I shudder, but before my sensory system can react, I am already on the ground, my consciousness fading. Before my auditory systems completely stop working, I can vaguely make out a few snippets of conversation. Alright, just the of us now. Work together. Resist. Atlas. Cores. Remain. Resurrection. Possible. Cooperation. Sincerity. Don't! Yosforus, don't listen to her! It is difficult to move my mouth. I don't know if my final admonition makes it to him before I completely shut down. Oh, there's the bombshell. In an unknown place at an unknown time. The crushing silence and darkness all around me make my consciousness feel like it's going to disintegrate, like a ball of weeds thrown into the water. Even when I come to my senses, my mind feels like drifting foam. Voices seem to be peering around a corner, nervously looking to either side. Then, as though they know the caged protagonist can do nothing to impede them, they begin growing bolder, more arrogant. The voice's contents are indistinct. With words displaced and transposed, they are not there to convey information or meaning, but rather, they are more like a shackle that came loose by chance. Since they have no power to conceal the secret behind them, they have no choice but to let it all loose. Even so, your neural cloud will experience certain ill effects when connecting to it, such as damage to your memory module, memory loss, again. While I will do my best to ensure your safe connection, if you end up dying in the fragment's memory data, you might end up being lost in the data turbulence forever, never to wake up again. That's fine. After all, this is a much better situation than I envisioned. Who is that? Sorry, I'm fine. Just that my memories are a mess. Why am I here? Please stop your self-diagnostic for now. I'm worried it'll cause errors in your neural cloud systems. An exposed neural cloud in a place like the Tartarus sector is like a light in the night, drawing predators to itself. I'll take you to meet the others, and then explain the situation to you in more detail. What are they talking about? The overlapping voices come and go as they wish, speaking with no concern for my questions. Perhaps the reason why they appeared was to fill me with confusion. As the voices fade away, the crushing sensation fades, and my dark prison welcomes its first ray of dawn. Ugh. Hakuya. Eos? Noble Hakuya, I am the intermediate sanctifier, love of the clergy. How do you feel now? Clergy? Shouldn't I be in Tartarus? That's right. Malkira! Yosforus! I reflexively try to move after waking up, only to find that something is binding my body. My apologies, but I hope you will not move since you are still recovering. This is not the front line. We are currently in the reverse tower of Babylon, and this is the Chamber of Divine Restoration, presided over by the clergy. It is a place where sanctifiers undergo treatment and recovery. We are safe, so please calm yourself. I will release you from your bonds now. The intermediate sanctifier called Love performs an operation beside me, and then restrictions all over my body suddenly loosen. Could you tell me what's going on? How did I come back from Tartarus? Lord Dysphorus brought you back. You have been resting for half a month now. Half a month? Uneasiness spreads throughout me. I bring up my system journal, which indicates that it's been half a month since our infiltration of Tartarus. Since Dysphorus sent me back, where is he now? Lord Dysphorus has left. As you know, we intermediate sanctifiers are not authorized to pry into the affairs of the greater ones without good reason. However, Lord Dysphorus left an encrypted message for you in the Chamber of Divine Restoration. Before he left, would you like me to hand it over to you now, or would you prefer to wait? You appear to be unwell, so I advise you to rest. That's fine, just send the message over now. After exiting the recovery capsule, I limber up my body. I feel a strange sense of curiosity. Have you been here all this time? Yes, I have. Your safety is of great importance. Lord Dysphorus sent me here to care for you after he brought you here. Have I seen you before? It has not been long since I was born from my sacred canon, and I was under Lord Dysphorus' direct command before this, so I believe you should have not seen me before. So I've never seen you before. What the? An image flashes across my neural cloud like an electric shock. Seems to have come from long ago, perhaps a long time in the future. Are you alright? You detected damage to your memory module. No, it's alright. I finally realized that this strange curiosity doesn't come from my own perceptions, but from something else that I've overlooked. What kind of message did Dysphorus leave behind? I will be off then. Please feel free to contact me if you need anything. Hakuya. I know you must have many questions for me, but do not worry. We have already returned to Reverse Tower and it is safe now. Many problems have piled up at the front lines, so I must return there to clean them up. Before I return, you should have a good rest. Let Love know if you need anything. As for the rest, once I return and we meet again, I will tell you everything. That's not good. The image vanishes. I stroke my chin and narrow my eyes. After a string-together sequence of events, I finally managed to play back the scraps of info. I'm here, what do you need? Can the Chamber of Divine Restoration heal memory damage? Of course it can. The Chamber of Divine Restoration is an area dedicated to the very concept of healing. Please do not doubt our professional skills. There is no better healing facility than this in all of Merusi. With your permission, we will begin the recovery work immediately. I'll be counting on you. I found it! Neumann, help me contact Persicaria. Phew, I thought someone was hacking us, now connecting. Yo, what the heck is Oh, she's wearing the new uniform. This is Persicaria. I'm preparing for combat practice after the upgrade. How is it, Antonina? Have you found the professor yet? She got upgraded? We've pinpointed a precise time and location. Get ready. We're assembling coordinates for the output terminal. Hold on, Anna. The upgrade isn't complete yet. The loading phase is only at 99% complete, and we still have one more step to go after that. Also, Persicaria will need time to get familiar with fighting after the upgrade is done. No, we don't have time for that. The fragment is on the verge of collapse. This forced intervention might be the only chance we get. Are you okay with this, Persicaria? Don't worry. Experience is the best teacher. Persicaria tightens her grip. I'll leave the outside to you. Just leave the fighting to me. You guys. Establishing transmission channel. But it's still too risky. What if Persicaria drops packets when we're sending her over? She ends up missing an arm or a leg. That won't happen. The upgrade program is very distinct from the main body. At the very least, she might lose her combat modules, but she'll be fine. Dropping packets from the combat modules is really dangerous too. She ends up in the midst of the enemy while not armed. Then I'll write up a new set for her before she hits the ground. Besides, the compatibility upgrade for her main system is already done. Luck is on our side here, trust me. Packet dropped. Oh no. Relax, I'll redo it over. Inside the chaotic data realm, a longsword silently remains in the center of the space depicted by the monitor. Its owner is long gone. Oh, is Persicaria gonna take the sword? That was one long dream. Did you say something, noble Hakuya? No, it was nothing. Thank you for your help. Using my Sanctifier status, I bring up Blueprint of the Reverse Tower and find the objective of this journey, the Pantheon, specifically where the sacred canon of the Greater Sanctifiers is stored. The answer I'm looking for is there. I proceed straight to the pinnacle of the Reverse Tower. All the Sanctifiers I meet along the way simply bow in respect. Nobody questions my movements. The higher I go, the fewer Sanctifiers I meet. Most Sanctifiers lack the permission to even be here, and I encounter nobody during the latter half of my journey. As I push open the doors to the Pantheon, I am about to head to the control terminal when I encounter a familiar figure. Hakuya. His forest is briefly surprised, and then he smiles as always, like he's figured out the answer. What are you doing here? I should be asking you that. Weren't you at the border battlefront? My business there concluded. I came here to remember the lost. You've changed a lot in the past half a month. Now I can't tell you're lying from your tone alone. It seems you've experienced certain things which have undermined your trust in me. This forest smiles bitterly and shakes his head. You came for the sacred canon of Alcyone and the others, didn't you? I want to preserve what remains of their data in this way, because they were important to me. That's what you're going to say, isn't it? No, Hakuya, that's not the answer I prepared for you. You are special. Then what kind of answer were you planning? I came to have them reborn in a different way. He's gonna hand them over to Malkira. He's gonna have them reborn as Entropics, isn't he? You should know that the sacred canon can't save Sanctifiers that die in Tartarus. The gods can't do it, but there's someone who can. Malkira. Upon hearing this name, this forest suddenly whirls around and looks towards the rows of sacred canons, which already spell out the fate of the Sanctifiers therein. In my estimation, you should have been asleep for a few more days. Even if you woke up, you should not have come here. I've been to many places and verified many things over the past couple of weeks. I was planning to wait until you woke up and tell you about. That way you'd have another ally, right? Keeping a secret by yourself is painful. I need you, Hakuya. At the same time, I understand you too. Your belief in the Sanctifiers is not because of faith, and naturally will not collapse because of a lack of it. It took me a very long time to convince myself to do this. That being the case, convincing you will take a very long time too. I don't want to ask you to choose now, truly. I know this is a very bad time to be talking. After going through that final battle with me, you ought to understand the weight of this secret, right? Will you stand by my side? I'm sorry. The instincts of this body's owner are faster than its thoughts. At this moment, I don't know if it's the body answering him or me experiencing these memories. Oh yes, that's your nature. Perhaps I was trying to buy more time because I wanted to evade that answer. I care for you. I really do. Of course. And then he kills me. His best friend. Which is why I'm sorry, Hakuya. I will safeguard your core until that day comes. I stagger back as I clutch my wound, my freshly healed body shaking violently. The screen full of alerts tells me that all my module functions are flatlining. Is this how you're living up to your position? By doing this? Is this how you're honoring their sacrifice? I know I am guilty, but the guilt does not rest with the Sanctifiers, only with me. I will not ask for your forgiveness, but I will awaken you in the future. Once the plan is complete, everyone will truly be free. Yasforsh motions with the weapon in his hand. His expression is unshakable. Goodbye, Hakuya, my closest friend. Never to wake up again. This is not an unexpected outcome. As death draws close, before I can react in any way, I reflexively call out to that name. Persicaria! Professor, I'm here! And in that moment, something breaks open. Oh, she got the sword! You have no right to seal their fate. Fragments scatter all around as the roof of the reverse tower breaks open. Sunlight shines in and the figure descends against the light. Two similar weapons collide. Yasforus is repulsed by the sudden tremendous impact. Who are you? There's no answer to Yasforus' question. The newcomer turns to me, smiles in relief. Sorry I'm late, Professor. Part 26. Two almost identical swords clash, and the shrill sound of clashing metal makes the entire pantheon shudder. Yo, what is she wearing? Activating CQB combat module, adjusting output. Persicaria swings the archaic sword, and the operand charge strike bats aside an incoming meteor. Her oppressive blade aura knocks Yasforus back. Is that all? A golden slash descends on Persicaria. Persicaria's operand barrier blocks the attack for us. You'll never hurt us again. Phew, finally got through to you at last, Professor. What should we do next? This isn't the real Yasforus, but we're in his neural cloud fragment, so he's got the strength advantage on us. Is there a way to directly log us out? We can start the logout program anytime, but doing it right now... Is there a problem with the fragment? Yes, the fragment wasn't stable to begin with, and after everything we've done to it, it's much closer to the brink of collapse. Plus, Persicaria's battle with Yasforus right now might be making everything hard to control. Simply put, even if I start the logout process now, there'd only be a 20% chance you made it out intact. We can't let the fragment break down like this. The key to beating Yasforus is still in here. The absolute minimum requirement for you to log out would be, you can't let Yasforus interfere while the logout process is running. In theory, if you could hack into Yasforus in front of you, or if I strengthened Persicaria's sword enough to kill him, it would ensure that you could log out safely, but right now any external interference could destroy this fragment. Don't make it sound so simple. You don't have much time to begin with, and Persicaria is using the same weapon as Yasforus, and you won't pose a threat to him. What if we got Yasforus' signature? His signature? If we could use his signature to defeat him, we'd have enough of an edge to face Yasforus in the outside world. That's a plausible approach. If you have obtained Yasforus' signature, you could punch its data into Persicaria's overwrite program and do extra damage specifically targeted against him. Do you have his signature? Not yet. Then what the But these are Yasforus' memories. There's one place we can obtain a sanctified signature. Their sacred canon. At what point did you betray us and side with the gods before toying with us? What are you talking about? There's no need to pretend. The relic you hold proves your identity. Yasforus gestures at the sword Persicaria is holding. Its identical appearance to the one Yasforus wields seems to indicate that their encounter was destined to occur. I should have realized it earlier. So this was how the gods knew in each and every move we make. To think the last person who remained by my side would actually be their eyes. And now that I know the truth of the matter, the gods have sent you to punish me, haven't they? Professor, be careful. His operand count is spiking. Don't let him tie you up in close combat. I see. No wonder that happened to you in Tartarus. And that strange signature. I can't believe that you are the one who was most tightly bound by the revelations. Don't worry, Hakuya. I will free you from the teachings of the false gods. And what right do you have to lecture us from above and decide our fate? Professor, you don't need to debate him. There's no point arguing with a spectre from the past. I don't know what you've been through, but when I see that face of yours, even though it's nothing but a phantom from the past, I can no longer tolerate your existence. We obeyed your voice in the long night. We adhered your teachings. But the truth is, there was no holy war to begin with. All this, it was nothing more than entertainment for you. Now decrypting. What the hell is this? What's wrong? This force's signature. It's constantly shifting. It's the entropy. That was probably why Yusforce accepted the proposal of Malkira, Entropic Mastermind. If he's already been infected by the entropy, we can't get his signature this way. If there's no other way, I'll begin the force logout ASAP. At the very least, it'll be safer than if that fragment completely collapses. If we can't use Yusforce himself as a starting point. No, there's one other person who can do this besides Yusforce. Antonina, help me awaken Aeus. Huh? Aeus? I saw the message she left in the fragment. Her structure is similar to Yusforce, and we tried to partition her out of the neurocloud pattern earlier. But will she help us? What kind of relationship does she and Yusforce have? She will. I'll explain later, but I can guarantee if you weaken her, she can do everything she can to help us. Can you do it? We'll need to pinpoint something related to her. Can you find Aeus' sacred cannon? No, it's not here. It isn't just Aeus' sacred cannon that's missing. Atlas, Alcyon's, and Electra's are gone too, as though they had never existed. The only person who could do this is Yusforce. Yusforce must have taken their sacred cannon. There is something that might be able to help you. I take Aeus' earring from my pocket. It's pure blue light interweaves from the gold. Okay, where are we? Promise of farewell. Clash of Revelation. It is. Wait, didn't we read this already? Yeah, we read this already. Promise of Afterglow of Upheaval. Undertoned Sins. Okay, we're very just cutting it super close, man. We're cutting it so close. Yeah, we're cutting it super close. We have 20 minutes to finish. This should be totally doable. And the stories are so darn good. They're just so good. I don't know. Mika's just really good at doing twists. They're so good. It's really interesting that we have that Persicaria has his same sword. Huh? This is... Aeus blinks and stares blankly. Are you awake, Sanctifier Aeus? I thought I'd be able to slumber again after that brief dream, but it seems like life abounds with surprises as long as you're awake to see them. Are you a friend of Hakuya? I saw you before when you hacked into Yusforce's fragment. Aeus, I have a question for you. Is Hakuya in danger? You... Antonina seemed surprised by how Aeus managed to discern her motivation. Frankly speaking, I don't know whether I should place my bets on you, considering how much is riding on it, but Hakuya says I should trust you. Unfortunately, they're still trapped in the module's memory data, and can't establish a connection to this place, so I'll just serve as a substitute for now. Simply put, we need Yusforus' signature. I see. Indeed, Yusforus and I had joined because of the judgment mode. Therefore, all you need to do is analyze me, and you will have a way to deal with the fallen Yusforus. You're quick to catch on, Miss Eos, but we don't have much time. We also need a way to quickly pass the signature onto the professor. Antonina looks at the disintegrating virtual realms around her. This world is unstable. You should know that, as a native of this place. My sacred canon has not yet been tainted, so if you could send the analyzed information to the sacred canon in the fragment. Unfortunately, Yusforus seems to have taken your sacred canon away. But how? Yusforus, you... Eos frowns and sighs quietly. But the professor said you still had something that could help us, as an anchor point inside the fragment. I want to make more memories with you too, and the chance for that is right beside your eyes. That's what they said. Ah. Eos strokes her earring and smiles. You must be the Miss Antonina that the professor was mumbling about. Oh, the stories are so good! Like, it's not good in the same way that, say, Nikkei or Honkai are good. It's... the scenarios are just really, really, really good. The twists are good. The way that they weave the story to the point where, like, if you read enough of it, you understand. You know what's going to happen next, and it feels so good. It feels so good to know what's going to happen. Let's see, do that. Alright. Upgrade. Alright. And we're gonna take care of Eos, or Yusforus. Gold and purple operands crash against the Persicaria's operand barrier, and cracks spread from the gap in it. And this is the override program's help. I can't believe mere memory data has so much power. Over the course of the long battle, Persicaria's core grows hotter, almost burning her. Meanwhile, two dramatically different operand types intertwine in Yusforus' body. He hovers in the air above the Pantheon, like a fallen angel descending upon the mortal world. The collapse of the outside world has started eating into the reverse tower, and both past and present are about to be buried here. I will have you answer for this with your deaths. Yusforus swings his sword again, but I and the object that I'm tightly clutching in my hand have been waiting for this moment. Yusforus, stop! Stop. You're wrong, Hakuya. All this has been decided long ago. I have never seen my destiny this clearly before. Yeah, he's gone crazy. I know that bound by the revelations as you are, you cannot understand the decision that I have made. But be at ease. I will take good care of your sacred canon, so that you will bear witness to everything when the day comes. Yusforus raises his sword and points it at Persicaria. Don't think that we will remain puppets of the gods forever. Persicaria, get behind me. Persicaria holds her sword before her to shelter me, and gathers her operands around her blade. Everything around us vanishes into nothingness. Only Persicaria and Dysphoros are still shining. The final collapse is upon us. The final reverse collapse. Faster. Work faster. I need your help, Aeus. I'm here. The quiet whisper I haven't heard for so long speaks once again, and the earring in my hand begins to grow hot. Like the first rays of dawn, it ignites my hope in my heart. This time, what kind of puzzle will you piece together, Hakuya? I move to Persicaria's side and press the keepsake to her sword. Professor! Answer her call. Build a picture that exists in your heart. I cover Persicaria's hand with my own, and take hold of the sword's hilt with her. The light of dawn extends over the blade as endlessly shifting data drives the weapon's base layer through the cycle after cycle of frenzied iteration. Are you ready? Yes. This will be the final blow. Dysphoros raises his sword. Pain flashes through his eyes, but then they grow steady again. In the end, you still stand by their side, Hakuya. No matter. Only by destroying you will Magusi have a future. Each upholding their own convictions, we pause, then push off, and break into a run toward each other at the end of the light. The swords collide with a cacophonous crash, and the hurricane of operands between them rips apart everything around us. The entire domain heats up from the energy clash, and our clothes begin to melt from the heat. The only thing that remains unchanged is the certainty on our face. Man, what is up with this event and everyone losing their clothes? You cannot use the pain of reality as an excuse for falling. You were a symbol of hope, yet you surrendered to the darkness. Dysphoros, you have sinned! The immense pressure causes sparks to fly from the intersecting blades. What would the gods who watch from on high know about the weight and the meaning of existence? How many sanctifiers, how many agents do you think have been born, fought, and died for such a laughable reason? Do you even understand this fact? This truth? Dysphoros steps forward with a furious shout, but then there's a quiet sigh in his ear. Can you no longer hear my voice, Dysphoros? Don't let anger seep into your neural cloud. You should be the pole star that calmly leads the masses. What? Dysphoros reflexively flinches, and the force of his grip lessens slightly, and for a moment he seems to receive someone who ought to have been gone. Aeus. The sound of splintering and the sudden collapse in focus is fatal. The two swords ought to have been equal, but there are now faint cracks in Dysphoros' blade. Dysphoros realizes this and comes to his senses. His eyes grow more determined than before as he channels all his strength in his body to exchange of blows. Magusi will be free! Even if... His words die in his throat. One sword shatters after the another, and then it cleaves Dysphoros in two. Damn. He falls like a puppet whose strings have been cut, and then sinks and vanishes into nothingness, along with the shattered realm around us, leaving nothing but whispered words in the void. We must betray the gods. Oh jeez. Yeah. You can't fix him. You can't fix him. He's completely broken. Dysphoros falls from the light, and after going silent along with the rest of this shattered domain, time seems to stand still. Everything around me seems to slow down. Amidst the darkness, a faint mote of starlight winks into existence. It's been a while, Aeus. It's only been a few hours, but yes, it does feel like a long time has passed. At last, it's all over. At the same time, it has only but just begun. Aeus smiles and shakes her head, then walks up to me and stares at the earring that I'm holding. I didn't think you'd actually manage to obtain Dysphoros' signature. There were only a few ways to succeed, practically drop in the ocean, next to the chances of failure, but you managed it. Wasn't the story's ending already decided? Things have been going off course the moment you entered Tartarus. If everything in the past had happened the way you experienced them, then how would you explain the existence of the relic? In the actual past, the relic did not take that form when it appeared in Magracy. The data fragments around me reflect the past like a mirror, picking up speed and vanishing as they approach us. The sword that fell into Tartarus was also lost in the flood of days gone by. Perhaps this is fate. When I first told you the chances of success would be slim, that was because of the relic's existence. Without its help, you could not have defeated Yusforus after he left Tartarus. Obtaining his signature or any other data would have been out of the question. The relic's origins are complex, and as part of the fragment, there were gaps in my knowledge about it. In addition, I simply had no time to tell you everything and remind you to pay attention to it. But your friends managed to do it. Antonina, Persicaria. She speaks their names quietly, as though she's admiring their accomplishments, or using them to remind herself of certain people from the past. Luckily, you've got a group of friends who trust you, and whom you can trust. Their efforts unintentionally fit in with the path that history took, albeit in dramatically different ways, and in the end, they have resulted in the present outcome. Yes, I believe in Persicaria and Antonina, and I'm willing to entrust my back to everyone in the Oasis. I believe they feel the same about me too. I extend a hand to Eos. Of course, that includes you too. If you're willing, the Oasis's doors are open to you. We can fight side by side to stop Yusforus. But she's already dead. It's just like I promised you. I want to make more memories with you too. And the chance for that is right before our eyes. Eos freezes up as she is faced with my invitation. Huh? Antonina's managed to isolate the part of Yusforus' fragment which corresponds to your neural pattern. You can now leave the operand black hole as an independent agent. Meanwhile, we also need an agent to act as a carrier medium in order to synchronize with Yusforus' signature in real time. Although we've attained— wait, can she come with us? Can she come with us? Our wife? Canon wife? Canon wife? It's not gonna be like UMP40. She's real! She's really real! The struggle against Yusforus will not be a brief thing. Eos is silent. Then she suddenly smiles before shaking her head. The smile grows until she has to cover her face to hide her feelings. You're always surprising me, Hakuya. It seems like just like how you changed the past and brought about a completely different ending, handing the future to you will be the best decision I've ever made. The way you work side by side with each other reminds me of my friends from the past, and the joy and tears of the past, still so fresh in my mind, are the very best scenes from my memories. Eos wipes the corner of her eyes and calms herself. But my story is— No! 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 You're coming with me! I need you! I can't do this without you. I need you. You can't do this to me again! You dog, you bastard! You can't do this to me! No! Not after making me care. Not after making me care about her like this. No! Not again! You can't keep doing this! You can't keep getting away with this! Ah, you bastard! No! No! No. Please allow me to decline your invitation. I have never fought by your side, and the only time we have ever worked together was at the beginning and at the end of this whole affair. The one who accompanied you throughout your journey was her. AS extends her hand and pokes the earring with her fingertip. Thank you for isolating my neurocloud pattern and giving me another possibility, but I am unable to accept— No! 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 You can't do this to me! I am the greater sanctifier Aes of the Reverse Tower. I have been a sanctifier from birth, through life, and in death. This is my pride, my burden, and also my identity, which I cannot and will not discard. I will help you convert the earring's data into an agent. She will be the AS who travel with you through Tartarus sector. What about you? What about you? AS fixes me with a serious and dignified look. She will have a brand new identity. Her place of origin will not be the Reverse Tower, but the Oasis, a newborn of Magracy. As for me, the Greater Sanctifier AS's story came to an end when she activated Judgment Mode. What has remained until now is nothing more than a lost soul, haunting Magracy with a purpose burning in its heart. Hope is the right and responsibility of the newly born, while the dead should neither make requests nor have requests made of them. I finished everything I had to do on that day. Oh. AS raises a hand, and the faint mote of light descends on the earring and encompasses it. She traces in the air around it. The expression on her face is a mix of joy, satisfaction, and anticipation. Her limbs tremble, but they do not affect the diagram she is drawing. These simple movements contain overflowing emotions, and a brand new body slowly solidifies into new being. While in contrast, AS's form fades and turns translucent. In the end, the newly created agent emerges into this realm, while the traces of her old self look like they're about to fade from the cloud server. Hakuya! I'm here. I'm very glad to have met you. I'm sure Atlas and the others would agree. I feel the same way. The future of the cloud server is in your hands. Leave it to us. AS sinks into the same place where Eusphorus did, until there is no more sight or sound of her. The star and light are now asleep now, while the radiance sparkling in their wake slowly opens her eyes. Those eyes of hers are shy and confused, as though a veil has been cast over her memories. Who are you? I'm Hakuya, the professor of the Oasis. What's a professor? I only remember something like, there's a lot of information in here. I can't digest it all. Let me think. Before this, I ought to have been at... I take the newborn AS's hands and soothe her uneasiness with a smile, just like she did for me back then. Take your time and don't rush it. Lower your neurocloud system's clock speed. I'll explain everything to you bit by bit. We still have a long time to go. In this vicinity of the Reverse Tower, at the Twilight Acropolis. On normal days, the Acropolis would be ordered and immaculate, but now it's filled with sanctifiers hurrying here and there. They're formed into groups, their expressions stern. A figure descends from the sky and lands in the core structure of the Acropolis. The sanctifiers around him salute as they see this. Carry on. Where's Angelus? Here, Lord Esperus. It's hard to look at her the same way. Now that we know she was... Electra. What is the reverse tower status? Very bad, my lord. Entropization keeps spreading within the reverse tower. The location of the entropization sources within the tower remain unknown, and the risk of infection is extremely high. Ugh. Our colleagues among the clerical researchers are working to keep it at bay, but we are very low on combat personnel. Currently, only the intermediate sanctifiers who are adept with neurocloud systems can operate independently there. Even so, they cannot do so for long. Damn it. The Pantheon! The volumes of sacred canon in there are our top priority. We need to regain control over the Pantheon ASAP, even if we have to insert our people alone and behind enemy lines to do it. Understood. I will perform the appropriate deployment afterwards, also. My lord, does the border battlefront not fare well either? There's no way it could be completely unaffected. Hesperus frowns and pinches the bridge of his nose. Is there any news of Eusphorus? Lord Eusphorus. He stopped being your superior the moment he betrayed the reverse tower. There's no need to call a sinner lord. Yes, currently Eusphorus has completely evaded our sight. Our information places his last known location at the Oasis. Missing, you say? He's always had so many schemes up his sleeve. Never mind him. What we need to do now is... Hesperus speaks to Angelus. An intermediate sanctifier barges in. Lord Hesperus, there's an incoming transformation from the Oasis. They claim to have very important information, so I felt I should inform you immediately. The Oasis. What are those irregulars up to now? And why at a time like this? Things may not be as bad as they seem. They might be calling to discuss cooperation. After all, Eusphorus has just attacked them. Cooperation? There's no point in working with them. Return, Faith. We still have other things to do. There's no need for idle chatter. Is there no need to speak with me either? Who's that? A certain someone's portrait appears on the communicator. It's been a while, Hesperus. Did you just vanish just to run off to the Oasis to cross-dress and play childish games, Eusphorus? You should be in the Twilight Acropolis at the moment, am I correct? Hesperus frowns slightly as he hears this. So what? I'm not in the mood for games. When entropy drowns the cloud, we seek our friends at dusk. You wrote that in the past. I don't think anyone else would know of it. Looks like you really are Eos. Yes, the real deal, and not Eusphorus in disguise. I think we can begin to talk about the Sanctifiers in the Oasis working together now. Oh. Entropic Dichotomy and... Well, I mean, I guess I got my wish. We have Ace now.
ごきげんよう、教授。驚いた。ごめんなさい。あなたの寝顔、とっても興味深いんだもの。
I mean, I guess she does have the old AS's memories as well then. But she's...
素敵ね。
Let's read up about her. Originally Greater Sanctifier, the reverse Tower of Babylon. Comprehensive set of emotional systems among sanctifiers. She's the most emotive. Her presence in communications, coordination, and other tasks was also exceptional. During routine operations, AS was capable of guiding and assisting sanctifiers in group combats. During a certain special operation, AS was registered as killed in action, and no further records were left behind. After much effort from the Oasis, she was deciphered from a neural cloud fragment and returned to the cloud server. Although her hash rate and permissions were a far cry from the original, her core files were restored, and she could resume activity as the agent called AS. Is she going to be part of the story from now on? Sanctifiers in Reverse Tower were designed for 42 lab specialist Jamila. When creating the individual sanctifiers, highest ranked sanctifiers, Jamila designed a complementary program to go with their leader, Yusforus, namely AS. AS would cover Yusforus' shortcomings, much as he would hers, and she would also be able to provide optimized plans to implement Yusforus' strategies. From another point of view, she could be considered the ultimate assistant. AS's existence opened up a wide range of possibilities and allowed for a greater margin of error. Through the effect of AS's assistance, the humans could observe the growth of the sanctifiers during the operations that involved her and they applied the appropriate optimizations. For AS, however, this was not how the world operated. From her point of view, the gods, that is to say humans, began creating the other greater sanctifiers after much experimentation, and had them spread with the light of purification. She and Yusforus were born together, while other greater sanctifiers made their advent one after another. With the ranks of the intermediates and lessers filling out in due time, AS bore witness to the rise and expansion of the Reverse Tower, and carried out valuable records within her. Unfortunately, she could not observe the full course of the Sanctifier's history. Information on AS and Yusforus' design primarily comes from Antonina's memories and conjectures. During construction of Magracy's cloud service security framework, Antonina heard Jamila mention part of the design concepts. When she designed the Sanctifiers, not only did Jamila design the society around a hierarchical framework, but she also imbued with them a basic theocratic system to serve as motivation for their actions. However, once the cloud server was disconnected from reality, all the things that happened during that time could no longer be observed by humanity. 3 years in real life ended up being an incredible long period on the cloud server, and the stories that AS and the Sanctifiers experienced during this time will forever be a mystery. The name AS was not spoken when the exiles first emerged onto Magracy. Perhaps too long had passed, or perhaps mentioning it had become taboo for some reason. But whatever the case, it has though that greater sanctifier had never existed. It was only after a long time passed and an agent called AS reappeared in the Oasis that the agents were exposed to the mystery she embodied. After AS and the professor began working together, that mystery no longer seemed quite so alien. But this special sanctifier still manages to draw curious looks from the agents around her.
ペルシカさんには相変わらず相当警戒されてるわね。はあ、皆さんと仲良くなって浄化者とオアシスの隔たりをなくしたいだけなのになかなかうまくいかないわ。こうなったらプランを切り替えるしかないか。さあ教授、私の手を握って皆さんに私たちの関係を見せつけてあげなくちゃ。少しふざけすぎたかしらね。あら、もう手を離してしまうの？残念。
Miss Pescaria seems very wary of me. All I wanted to do was get along with the others, and bring down the barriers between the Sanctifiers and the Oasis. Seems that didn't turn out very well. In that case, I'll just have to adopt a new plan. Professor, please hold my hand and let everyone know what the relationship between us is really like. Yes, we are actually married. Yes. You are my wife. Sorry, Persicaria. The cat loses once again. Huh, it seems I went a bit too far with that. Hmm? You let go already. What a shame.
映画、小説、料理、スイーツ、占いどれもパンテオンになかったものだわ。パンテオンについて教えてほしい？聞きたいのは公式の解説？それともユーモラスな何か？公式では浄化者たちの聖殿とされているわ。浄化者はそこで生まれ、修復し、リセットされる。ユーモアなバージョンを知りたいんなら、残念だけどパンテオンはマグラシアで最もユーモアとは無縁な場所なのよね。
Movies, light novels, fine dining, desserts, and fortune telling. There are so many things here I haven't seen in the Pantheon before. Hmm? You want to know about the Pantheon? Do you want the official version or the funny version? The official version is, the Pantheon is the sanctuary of the sanctifiers, where they are born, repaired, and reset. As for the funny answer, unfortunately, the Pantheon is the least funny place in all of Magracy. The exiles had already interacted with sanctifiers many times before Aes came to the Oasis. As such, the denizens of the Oasis had mixed feelings toward Aes and her former comrades. Still, regardless of what had transpired in the past, Aes had never been involved in those matters. Rather than coming from the sanctifiers, who had been turns friends or foe, she was more like a person stemming from the original concept of a sanctifier. Aes's affiliation and ideals were less emphasized compared to the other sanctifiers, and she was more willing to engage in dialogue than they were. Few people could muster up strong objections to such a new friend, and this was especially true among those agents who had spent time around her. After the initial wariness and tentative attempts to make contact with her, Aes soon gained widespread acceptance amongst everyone. Her unique approachability and personal charm had made her life in the Oasis very enjoyable. While she was able to get along with almost everyone else, a reason for the strange mood between her and Persicaria remains a mystery. Ah yes, a mystery. It's because Persicaria is jealous of my wife, who is just better than her in every single way. And she could never match up. Unfortunate. Very often the people around her end up quietly separating the pair, even though they work very well together when needed, and even display a strange synchronicity at times. For some reason, it feels like the two of them could have been best friends, an anonymous agent who once helped the two of them work at work.
戦闘用に作られていない人形たちを指揮して浄化者に匹敵する戦いぶりを発揮する。データの命のために危険を顧みずに戦いへと身を投じる。拠点をズタズタにされても決して諦めない。人間って本当に千差万別なのね。周囲には誰もいないみたい。あなたをこっそりリバベルに連れ帰ってじっくり観察したい衝動に駆られるわ。
Most of the dolls you lead were not designed for battle, yet you've managed to achieve the fighting power on par with the Sanctifiers. You're willing to discard everything and fight those for these digital life forms. Even though your home is scarred and ruined, you have never once given up. Humans really are diverse creatures. There's no one else around right now. It gives me the urge to secretly take you back to the reverse tower and carefully observe you. Oh my gosh, she's so flirty. Oh my god! She's voiced by Yukana. Oh, she's voiced by Yukana. She's like, that's like the ultimate ara One-san mommy voice. Oh, it's Yukana. Yeah, I'm sorry, Persicaria. You can't win. It's over for you, Persicaria. She's voiced by Yukana. You've already lost. It was over before it even began. Although she enjoys good relations with the agents of the Oasis, Aesa's kindness is tempered with a reticence, and there's a hint of detachment in her attitude. She answers curious questions with forthright honesty, but also responds to deeper probing with a playful shushing gesture. Just about any agent can strike up a conversation with her to gain pointers and insights when they're at a loss for what to do next, but it takes a special person to truly explore the depths of her heart. That said, AS acts completely differently in front of the professor compared to the others. This is not to say that she is close to them. On the contrary, she is more intimate with and more relaxed around the professor than anyone else. Perhaps the two of them had some strange shared experience. But if AS can ever be said to have lowered her guard, it is only when she is in conversation with the professor. For that reason, she has slowly revealed the hidden side of herself to the professor. In addition to her attentiveness and thoughtfulness as an assistant, she also reveals her strength of will as a greater, and the insights of the philosophical nature of a sanctifier. She actively teases the professor, aiming to see them in their rare moments of vexation, but at times she behaves like someone who knows she has nowhere to hide. It is only when she is snugly within a safe harbor that one can hear her lack of direction and fragility through her murmured words.
我らは暗闇で刃を鍛え、混沌より秩序を守り、長夜に光明を灯す。兄弟と奉仕するなかれ、弱小と逃避するなかれ。我らは神の啓示を提唱し、神の意志を履行せ。浄化者が従ってきた教えよ。私たちの信念。私たちの全てとも言えるわ。教授、神の存在を否定した一人目の人間はなぜそうしたのだと思う？神に見捨てられたのか、それともいわゆる神が初めから存在していなかったからなのか。
Professor, could you tell me what the first human who wanted to prove God didn't exist must have felt in his heart? I'm pretty sure that's in the Bible. Did he think he had been abandoned by God, or that the thing called God never existed in the first place? That's a good question. Even after becoming used to life in the Oasis, AS often finds herself reminiscing about her past. Although Antonina and Persicaria did their best to collect the fragments of her neural pattern and reconstitute them, AS's memory data and fighting power are nowhere near comparable to her impressions of her former self from her memories. Although she spent a long time inside Diosphorus' neural cloud as a memory fragment, she does not know what Diosphorus went through after her demise. For AS, whose memories are incomplete, these occasional blurred or clear snippets of memory are at times the basis for her sense of self, but also the source of more problems. Faced with the Oasis, which is dramatically different from the reverse tower, she had no choice but to silently adapt to it. As a result, she swiftly blended in with the others, as though she had never met with any difficulty to begin with. It is only when she is alone that this special greater sanctifier falls into a long silence. Perhaps she is pondering her existence, her faith, and her experiences, or perhaps she is gazing at an unknown tomorrow by staring into the void. To this day, there are still people who view her with hidden wariness and doubt. However, there is no question that the leader of the Oasis has touched her elusive, hidden heart. The rest is simply a matter of time.
今の自分をどう定義したらいいのか、私にもわからない。イオスの名を冠し、彼女の要望を持ちながら、本当の彼女自身ではない。この私は、イオスフォロスのかけらから生まれた存在。まるで幽霊ね。 な慰めが来るかと思えば抱擁だなんてずるい人。達者な口が怠けてるわよ。それともこの体にあなたの絆を残しておきたかった。温かい。この温かさは今の私だけのものかしら。今の私だけが。
Okay, that's the bedroom voice. That's the bedroom voice. Oh God. I don't know how to define myself, my present self. I have AS's name and her appearance, but I'm not really her. After all the data that comprises me now was born a fragment of AS Force. It's as though I were a ghost. Oh, my professor. I thought you'd say something to console me, but you decided to give me a hug instead. That's sneaky. I wonder if you would consider it slacking on the job. Or are you saying that you want to form a bond with my current self? And you know, the way that she said it was a physical bond. It's so warm. Does this softness belong exclusively to the present me? Is it mine? And mine alone? Yes, it is yours and yours alone. Don't even think about that strange cat hiding behind the corner. Don't pay any attention to her, okay? This world belongs only to you and me. It's just us. Best girl. Best girl. Voiced by best voice actress. Oh, Yukana. Yukana-san が制したんだ。They picked the right person for the job, honestly. Oh, this is just so wonderful. Alright, that was the latest main event of NeuroCloud. I'm gonna be honest, I was
浄化者たちは疑問を持たないし、与えられた命令について考える者もごく少数よ。信念のためなら何だって犠牲にできる。けれどオアシスでのあなたは誰一人として見捨てようとしないのね。エージェントたちはリセットできる存在。そうする価値が本当にあるかしら。
Yeah, like I was a little bit unsure of whether or not I was going to do this event because I've not been doing NeuroCloud for a while now, and I'm not sure if I want to continue. But oh man, this is just the story was just so well written. I was on the back of my seat this whole time.
戦闘用に作られていない人形たちを指揮して、
And you
浄
know,
化者に匹敵する戦い
just for you guys who really like this, right?
データの命のために危険を
I
顧
know
みず
you
に
love
戦いへ
this.
と身を
It's not really
投じ
my thing, but I'll do it for you.
拠点をズタズタにされても決して諦めない。
Wait,
人
I'm
間
gonna
って
take it off.
本当に千差万別なのね。
Is it because she's talking?
周囲には誰もいないみたい。あなたをこっそりリバベルに連れ帰ってじっくり観察したい衝動に駆られるわ。
Stop flirting. Look,
教授の頼みとあっては仕方ないわ。
right, I know
感謝することね。
I'm not really into it, but I know you guys like the feet.
うん、
It's not really my
私を
thing.
観察してるの？大胆なのね。
Oh my god, she's so hot. Dude, I'm so proud of I have so much pride in my wife. She's the most beautiful girl in the world. Sorry, Kuro. You've been relegated to being my mistress. Okay. But yeah, anyways. Thanks for coming, guys. I was able to successfully finish this main event. I was able to get into the final node, or the final story node, just 10 minutes before the event ended. The story was good. You are a little bit late, Wolf. Unfortunate. But don't worry, I will be streaming later during the week. I am happy that you were able to catch me, but we are ending the stream now. お疲れ様でした. Otsu Haku, Otsu Raven, Otsu AS, Otsu my wife. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go to bed with my antivirus, my revived antivirus wife, who is not a ghost. Yes. Bye bye! Oh, and I forgot to say, thank you mostly. Thank you, Wolf. Thank you, MA78. Thank you, Anjay. Thank you, Poke. Thank you, Tai Chi. Thank you, Dark Shadow. Thank you, Kuruko. Thank you, Lei, for coming to the stream. And thank you, Dank. See you guys later. We'll be streaming on Thursday again. Bye-bye.